You really thought you could marry my son? You're not good enough for him. Don't even dream about joining our family. You're just not the right person for him. Now, leave. That's what my father-in-law said to me, his voice cold and cruel. And as if that wasn't enough, my mother-in-law added, "You'd only go after Alex for his money anyway." My name is Kate. I'm 34 years old, and I've been working at the same company since I graduated from college. While many of my coworkers have moved on, starting businesses, getting married, or having kids, I've stayed, pouring all my energy into work. But that doesn't mean I'm just some lonely, career-obsessed woman. I actually have a fiancé, Alex. Alex and I met through work. At first, I thought of him as a hardworking and serious guy, but after collaborating on a few projects, we got closer. He eventually confessed his feelings, and we started dating. We've been together for a few years now, and recently, Alex proposed. While I was thrilled, I couldn't shake the nagging worries I had about our relationship. Alex is younger than me, which sometimes makes me feel self-conscious. He's always told me it doesn't matter, but I can't help wondering if it might cause issues in the future. There's also the matter of his family. His dad owns a successful business, and Alex works for him. Someday, Alex is expected to take over the company. I'd always been afraid that his wealthy, influential parents wouldn't accept me because I come from a regular family. When Alex proposed, I was overjoyed, but deep down, I worried if we could really make it work. Still, Alex's optimism always reassured me. My parents loved Alex from the moment they met him. They've been supportive of our relationship and are happy we're getting married. That gave me hope. Then came the day I was dreading, meeting Alex's parents. Their house was enormous, like something out of a movie. As soon as I saw it, I started doubting whether the clothes I had carefully chosen were fancy enough. Alex's world was so different from mine. He'd take me to upscale restaurants and book luxury hotel rooms for our trips, treating it all like it was no big deal. Yet, he never made me feel uncomfortable about my background or flaunted his wealth. "I love you for who you are, not for your looks or money," he told me once. Even though I doubted why someone like him would be interested in me, his sincerity made me believe in our love. That's why I was determined to win his parents' approval. "Don't worry, Kate," Alex reassured me. "I've already told them all about you." When we arrived, his mother greeted us at the door. "Welcome, you must be Kate," she said with a polite but distant tone. "Yes, it's nice to meet you," I replied nervously. She gave me a brief nod and led us inside. The living room was massive, and Alex's father was sitting on an expensive-looking sofa, waiting for us. Meeting his mother was nerve-wracking enough, but his father's imposing presence made me feel even smaller. "It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Kate. Thank you for having me today," I said, trying to sound confident, though my voice trembled a little. Alex gave me a reassuring smile. "Don't be so nervous," he whispered softly. But his parents weren't smiling. They just stared at me coldly, making my nerves even worse. "Please, have a seat," his father said, motioning toward the sofa. I sat down, but almost immediately, his father said, "No." I froze. "Sorry? No to what?" I asked, confused. His mother nodded in agreement with him, her expression just as stern. "Hey, Mom, Dad, what are you doing? What's that supposed to mean? That's so rude," Alex snapped, stepping in to defend me. But his parents didn't seem to care. "How old are you?" his mother asked abruptly. "You look older." "I'm 34, I replied, bracing myself. 34? She said, raising her eyebrows. "You're 6 years older than Alex. How can we accept that? He should be with someone younger, not someone so old." Her words stung, but she wasn't done. "And at your age, isn't it too late for you to have children? We need someone who can give us grandchildren. Alex needs to marry a younger woman. That's just how it is." I had been afraid they'd bring up my age, but hearing it still hurt. "Also," she added, "you're still single at 34? That doesn't sound right. There must be a reason no one's married you yet. Maybe it's your personality?" "Mom," Alex exclaimed, furious, "that's not true. Kate is amazing. She has a great personality." His mother shot him a look. "Then why is she still single?" I took a deep breath, trying to keep my cool. I know being older might seem unusual, but I've been focused on my career. I wanted to work hard and achieve my goals. Marriage wasn't a priority for me until I met Alex. He changed that. I hoped my explanation would soften their attitude, but it didn't. "Work hard?" his mother said with a sneer. It's not like your job is anything special. Even if you work hard, it doesn't mean much if you're not making good money. Honestly, she continued, instead of working so much, maybe you should have spent more time making yourself presentable. Exactly, his father chimed in, smirking. You could still improve. Plastic surgery could help, even at your age. His mother laughed at his comment, covering her mouth. Oh, honey, you're so blunt. It was the first time I'd seen them laugh, but it wasn't kindness, it was pure mockery. I was stunned, angry, and humiliated all at once. I was speechless. You think you're good enough to marry my son? Alex's father sneered. You don't meet our standards. Don't even dream of joining this family. You're just not the right person for him. Now, leave. His words were cold and cutting. His mother wasn't any kinder. You must have tricked Alex for his money, but you can't fool us. We see right through you. That's enough, Alex shouted, his face red with anger. You can say whatever you want, but it's my life. I decide who I marry. I gently touched his arm to stop him. It's okay, Alex, I said before turning back to his parents. I understand how you feel, but it's incredibly rude to say such horrible things to someone you've just met, I said, keeping my voice calm. I don't care about your money, it means nothing to me, but if I ever became rich, I'd make sure not to act like you. With that, I stood up. There was nothing more to say. As I headed for the door, his father yelled after me, How dare you insult us, you beggar, you'll never marry my son. I turned back briefly. Don't worry, I said coolly, I have no desire to be part of a family like yours. His father's face turned red with rage. You're disgraceful. I'd love to meet the parents who raised someone like you. I didn't bother responding. I walked out, fuming at their cruelty. Outside, Alex caught up with me, breathless. Kate, I'm so sorry, I can't believe they said those things. It was horrible, but maybe it's better this way. If we'd gotten married, dealing with them would have been a nightmare, he said. Then he took a deep breath and said, I've made up my mind. I'm leaving them. I'm not taking over Dad's company, and I'm quitting my job too. I was stunned. Alex, you shouldn't rush into something like this. I'm not rushing, he said firmly. I love you, Kate. We're together because of love, not money. I don't need them or their company. But I hesitated. Let's go to your parents' house, he said, grabbing my hand. We'll tell them everything. When we got to my parents' house, they were surprised by our sudden visit but welcomed us warmly. Over tea, we explained what had happened with Alex's parents. My father listened quietly, then finally spoke. Alex, your father's company, it's called Space C, isn't it? And his name is Patrick Smith? Yes, that's right. Why? Alex asked, confused. I thought so, my father said with a nod. Come on, let's go back to your parents' house. Dad, what's going on? I asked, startled. They said they wanted to know whose daughter you are, my father replied calmly. Let's show them. I couldn't believe how determined he was, but I didn't argue. We all went back to Alex's parents' house together. This time, Alex's father opened the door. He scowled when he saw me. You again? I don't care how many times you come back. Whose daughter do you think you are, talking to me like that? Before I could reply, my father stepped forward. Patrick, he said firmly. Alex's father froze, squinting at my dad. Slowly, realization dawned on his face, and his expression changed completely. Mr. Anderson, is that you? Alex's father, Patrick, stammered, his confident demeanor crumbling. You remember now, don't you? My father replied, stepping forward. Yes, I'm her father. She's my only daughter, and I won't let anyone insult her. Have you forgotten what I told you years ago? Patrick's face turned pale. No, back when you were arrested for smoking, drinking, and even shoplifting, who covered for you? Who gave you a second chance and helped you get your life together? It was me, my father said firmly. I taught you that no one can succeed alone. We need to treat others with respect. And yet, now that your company is successful, you've forgotten all of that, haven't you? I'm sorry, Patrick muttered, clearly shaken. My father continued, his tone sharp. Being the president of a company doesn't make you better than anyone else. Success is no excuse to look down on people. Haven't I taught you that? Patrick hung his head, realizing the truth in my father's words. One more thing, Alex chimed in, glaring at his father. My boss always complains about stress. Are you harassing him, Dad? What? I'm just being tough on him because I expect more, Patrick defended weakly. My father shook his head in disappointment. You haven't changed at all. You're still the same arrogant man I knew back then. It's shameful, Patrick. He then turned to Patrick and demanded, apologize to my daughter for what you said to her. Patrick bowed his head to me. I'm sorry, Kate, he said, his voice low. Now you too, he told Patrick's wife. She hesitated but eventually followed suit, bowing and apologizing. I felt a wave of relief as they finally showed remorse. Then Alex spoke up. I'm done, Dad. I'm leaving this house and the company. I'm starting my own business and marrying Kate, just like I promised. His parents panicked. Wait, if you leave, who's going to take over? Patrick cried. You can't do this. We're counting on you, his mother added. I'm tired of being controlled, Alex said firmly. I want to prove myself on my own. Thanks for everything, but this is goodbye. He bowed politely and walked out, leaving them stunned. Later, I learned that Patrick had been one of my father's former students. True to his word, Alex quit his father's company and started his own business. I supported him while continuing my own career. His company grew quickly, and before long, we got married and began a happy life together. As for Patrick, his arrogance caught up with him. He was sued by employees for workplace harassment, which caused the company's stock price to plummet. Eventually, he was dismissed as president. Through all this, I've learned how important humility and kindness are in life. My father's wisdom has always been my guide, and I'll carry his lessons with me as I strive to live with dignity and compassion.
The text message glared at me from my phone screen. Miss Hall, please come to my office immediately. My stomach dropped. In 5 years at Morgan and Pierce, I'd never been summoned like this by Fernando. I'm Isla, and until today, I was a senior account manager who prided herself on perfect performance reviews. The corridor to Fernando's office felt longer than usual, each step echoing my racing heartbeat. His face was stone cold when I entered. Sit down, Isla. Is everything okay? I asked, though clearly it wasn't. We received a disturbing call this morning. Fernando's fingers drummed on his desk. A woman claiming to be your sister informed us about your alleged substance abuse problem and frequent theft of office supplies. My world stopped spinning. What? She provided detailed accounts of witnessing you stealing company property and attending client meetings while intoxicated. He slid a paper across his desk. Given the severity of these allegations, we have no choice but to terminate your employment, effective immediately. Fernando, this is insane. I've never... My voice cracked. My sister, Victoria? He nodded grimly. She seemed very concerned about your welfare. My hands trembled as I pulled out my phone calling Victoria. She answered on the third ring, her voice syrupy sweet. Hey, sis, what's up? Why did you call my office? I demanded, my voice echoing in Fernando's silent office. Oh, that, she giggled. Just a little prank. Come on, you're always so serious about everything. Lighten up. A prank? I just got fired. Wait, what? No way. I thought they'd just give you a warning or something. Don't be dramatic. Fernando watched me with a mixture of pity and discomfort as I ended the call. I can prove she's lying, I pleaded. Check the security cameras, talk to my colleagues. Asla, he cut me off. Regardless of the truth, this has created a liability issue. The board has made their decision. Security will escort you to clear your desk. Walking past my colleagues' concerned faces, box in hand, I felt numb. 5 years of dedication ended because of my sister's idea of a joke. My phone buzzed with a text from Victoria. Sorry if you're mad, but maybe this is good timing for a career change. You were getting kind of boring anyway. Back home, I sat on my couch, staring at the family photo on my wall. Victoria beamed from the centre, as always, while I stood awkwardly at the edge. The golden child and the responsible one, roles we'd played since childhood. My phone rang. Mum. Isla, honey, Victoria told me what happened, she said, not bothering with hello. You really should learn to take a joke better. She didn't mean any harm. Mum, I lost my job. Well, maybe it's for the best. You were working too hard anyway. Victoria says there's an opening at her friend's boutique. Wouldn't that be nice? Working together? I press my fingers against my temples. I have a master's degree in business administration. Don't be snobby, dear. Family helps family. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and started updating my resume. My hand stopped shaking as determination replaced shock. Victoria had always gotten away with everything, from breaking my toys as kids to borrowing my car and crashing it in college. Our parents always dismissed her actions with, "That's just how she is." My phone pinged again. Victoria. "Mum says you're being dramatic. It's not like you can't find another job. Unless you're not as smart as you think you are." I stared at her message, something shifting inside me. All these years, I'd swallowed my anger, played the bigger person, kept the peace. For what? To be sabotaged by my own sister. Opening my email, I began crafting applications to every major competitor of Morgan & Pierce. My sister wanted me to change careers. Fine, I'd change, but on my terms. "Watch me," I whispered to the empty room, hitting send on the first application. Victoria had no idea what she'd just set in motion. For the first time in my life, I wasn't going to let this go. I wasn't going to accept her half-hearted apology and move on. My phone buzzed again, a group chat notification. Victoria was already spinning her version of events to our brother, Quinn, and our parents. I muted the chat and instead opened LinkedIn, connecting with every industry contact I had. They thought I was the boring, predictable one? Perfect. They'd never see it coming when I finally showed them exactly what their dramatic sister was capable of. Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud and messy. It's calculated, patient, and served cold. I smiled as another job application completed sending. Victoria had just taught me a valuable lesson. Family doesn't always mean loyalty. And I was about to teach her one in return. "Tell me why you're interested in joining Stewart & Associates." Larry Ford leaned back in his chair, studying me across his mahogany desk. 2 weeks after Victoria's prank, I sat in an office twice the size of Fernando's, interviewing for a position that made my old job look entry-level. My former colleague Sarah had recommended me the moment she heard what happened. "Honestly?" I met his gaze. "Because I want to prove something." Larry's eyebrow raised. "Oh." I was fired from Morgan & Pierce due to false allegations. Instead of fighting it, I want to show them exactly what they lost. I pulled out my portfolio. These are the accounts I managed, their growth rates, and client satisfaction scores. He flipped through the pages, nodding slowly. "Impressive, but why not pursue legal action?" "Because success is better than litigation." I smiled. "Plus, I've heard Stewart & Associates is planning to target Morgan & Pierce's biggest client, Riverside Corp. I know their account inside out." Larry's eyes sparkled with interest. "You've done your homework." "Always do." He closed my portfolio. "The position pays double what Morgan & Pierce offered, plus performance bonuses. When can you start?" Walking out of Stewart & Associates, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. My phone buzzed, the family group chat exploding as usual. "Mum, Quinn needs help with his car payments again. Everyone pitch in." Victoria, "I'm broke. I'm sorry, bro." Dad, "Your mother and I already helped last month." Quinn, "Come on, guys, I'll pay everyone back." I was about to mute the chat again when a private message from Victoria popped up. "Hey sis, heard you had a big interview today. Mum's worried you're aiming too high. Don't want you getting disappointed again." My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed, "Actually, I got the job. Double my old salary." 3 dots appeared immediately. "OMG. No way! That's amazing! Hey, random question. Could you help me with rent this month? Just until my commission comes through." Before I could respond, the group chat exploded again. Mum. Isla got a new job. Much better pay. Quinn. Seriously? Sis, you're holding out on us? Dad. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Speaking of which, your mother and I are planning to renovate the kitchen. My phone rang. Quinn. Hey, superstar, he said smoothly. So, about that car payment. Quinn, I haven't even started the job yet. Come on, you know I'm good for it. Remember when I covered for you that time you stayed out past curfew? We were teenagers, and you made me do your homework for a month in exchange. Details. Family helps family, right? I walked into my apartment, dropping my keys on the counter. Funny, where was that family spirit when Victoria got me fired? Ancient history. She feels terrible about that. Besides, it worked out better for you, didn't it? So, really, you should be thanking her. I nearly choked. Thanking her? Yeah. See, everything happens for a reason. So, about that loan. I'll think about it, I said, ending the call. My laptop sat open on my coffee table, still displaying the email confirmation from Stewart & Associates. Next to it lay a notebook where I'd started drafting those letters. One for each family member. Letters I'd been too scared to send. My phone buzzed again. Victoria had sent a screenshot of my new company to the group chat. Victoria. Found Isla's new workplace. So fancy. Guess all those hours being a workaholic paid off. Mum. Don't be mean, dear. Isla's just lucky. Quinn. Lucky enough to help her favourite brother. Dad. We should celebrate. Isla can treat us to dinner at that new steakhouse downtown. I picked up my pen and pulled the notebook closer. The first letter was addressed to Victoria. Dear sister, it began. Let me tell you about luck. My hand moved faster now, the words flowing easily. They thought my success meant their meal ticket had arrived. They were about to learn otherwise. Every demand for money, every dismissive comment, every backhanded compliment, it was all going into these letters. My phone kept buzzing with notifications, but I ignored them. Let them plan their celebrations and count money they wouldn't see. Let them think I was still their pushover sister, daughter, meal ticket. The truth would arrive in their mailboxes soon enough. I looked at the family photo still hanging on my wall. Tomorrow it would come down. Sometimes the hardest part of standing up for yourself is standing up to family. But as I wrote those letters, I realised something. Blood might be thicker than water, but ink would be thicker than both. Just a small loan, sweetheart, Mum said, stirring her coffee at our weekly breakfast meet-up. Your father and I have always supported you. I nearly choked on my avocado toast. Supported me? Like when Victoria crashed my car and you made me share hers instead of making her replace it. Ancient history, Mum waved her hand dismissively. Besides, you were always so rigid about your things. Sharing is caring. Mum, I was working 2 jobs to pay for that car. And look how that taught you responsibility. Now you're successful. She beamed. Speaking of success, the kitchen renovation would only be about 20,000. My coffee turned bitter in my mouth. That's a lot of money. Well, Victoria can't help. She's an artist. You know how unstable that income is. And Quinn has his car payments. I set my cup down harder than necessary. What about my student loans? Oh, honey, Mum patted my hand. You chose to go to that expensive university. Nobody forced you. The memory hit me like a slap. 17-year-old me clutching my acceptance letter, while Mum consoled a crying Victoria who hadn't gotten in. Maybe you should go to community college first, Mum had suggested. Keep Victoria company. My phone buzzed. Quinn. Hey, sis, about that car payment. Getting some nasty calls from the bank. I turned my phone face down. Mum, I need to get to work. Already? But we haven't discussed the kitchen. Your father's getting estimates this afternoon. At the office, Larry stopped by my desk. Isla, the Riverside court meeting went better than expected. They're considering moving their entire portfolio to us. That's fantastic. It's all thanks to your insight. There's a substantial bonus coming your way. My computer dinged with an email from Victoria. Hey sis, heard about your bonus from Mum? She ran into Larry's wife at yoga. Quick favour, my art supplies store is having a massive sale. Could really use some sister support. I opened my drawer, pulling out the letters I'd brought to work. Each one contained years of carefully documented incidents, dates, amounts borrowed and never repaid. Victoria's was the thickest. My phone rang. Dad. Princess, great news. Contractor can start the kitchen next week. Just need you to transfer the deposit. Dad, I haven't agreed to... Your mother said you were on board. We've already picked out the fixtures. Premium stuff. Only the best for our dream kitchen. Dad, got to run. Contractor needs the deposit by Friday. Love you, Princess. I hung up and stared at the letters. Another message popped up from Quinn. Banks threatening repossession. Need 3K by tomorrow. You're my only hope. Memories flooded back. Quinn borrowing my college fund for his failed startup. Victoria accidentally spilling wine on my interview suit, then offering her old cocktail dress as a replacement. Mum and Dad remortgaging the house to fund Victoria's art gallery, which closed 3 months later. Larry appeared again. Isla, you okay? Just family stuff. He nodded knowingly. Sometimes the hardest business decisions involve family. Remember what I always say? Professional boundaries protect personal relationships, I quoted. Exactly. He smiled. By the way, the bonus hits your account tomorrow. After he left, I opened my email and created a new folder labelled Family Financial Requests. I forwarded every demanding message, every guilt trip, every manipulation tactic. Each one went into the folder, dated and categorised. My phone buzzed again. The family group chat was discussing dinner plans, at an expensive restaurant naturally. On my tab, obviously. Victoria, Isla's buying, time to celebrate her bonus. Mum, perfect, I'll make reservations for 8, bringing your father's golf friends too. Quinn, count me in. Sis, can you spot me some cash for a new shirt? Can't show up looking broke. I picked up the letters again, adding a final paragraph to each one. Then I pulled out fresh envelopes, addressing them carefully. Victoria's art supply store receipt from last month. For designer handbags, not art supplies. Quinn's bank statements showing gambling transactions. Mum's yoga membership cost more than my monthly student loan payment. Everything would be exposed. Every lie, every manipulation, every double standard. My hand shook slightly as I sealed the last envelope. Part of me wanted to shred them all, keep the peace, play my assigned role. But as I looked at my phone, still buzzing with entitled demands, I knew peace had always been an illusion. I stood up, letters in hand, ready to walk to the mailroom. They wanted my money. They'd get my truth instead. Sometimes the most expensive thing in life is letting people take you for granted. I was done paying that price. The postal worker raised an eyebrow at my stack of certified letters. Need signatures for delivery? Yes, I said firmly. I need to know exactly when they receive these. Back at my desk, I stared at the tracking numbers, my heart racing. 4 letters, 4 bombs of truth, ticking their way through the postal system. My phone lit up, Victoria calling. Hey, sis! Her voice dripped honey. About dinner tonight. I can't make it. I kept my voice neutral. Deadline at work. But Mum already made reservations. Everyone's coming. Quinn's bringing his new girlfriend. Dad's golf buddies. All these people were invited to celebrate my bonus, I said, but nobody asked me first. Don't be difficult, Victoria sighed. Family celebrates together. Oh, and could you transfer me some cash before dinner? My card's being weird. I checked the tracking numbers again. Her letter would arrive tomorrow. Sorry, Vic, I've got a meeting. I hung up before she could protest. Larry stopped by my desk. Everything all right? You seem distracted. Just handling some long overdue correspondence. He nodded thoughtfully. The Riverside core transfer is almost complete. Fernando from Morgan and Pierce called this morning, quite upset about losing their biggest client. I smiled despite myself. Did he mention anything else? Just that letting you go was their biggest mistake this year. Larry grinned. I didn't tell him it was their biggest mistake this decade. My computer pinged with an email from Quinn. Sis, emergency. Banks threatening legal action. Need help now. Also, can't make dinner unless you spot me some cash for a new shirt. Don't tell Mom. I opened my drafts folder and began typing. Dear Quinn, can't make dinner. Dealing with my own financial obligations. Student loans, rent, basic adult responsibilities. You should try it sometime. Isla. My phone buzzed, Mum. Isla Marie, what's this about not coming to dinner? I already told everyone about your bonus. Mum, you can't just... Victoria's devastated. She bought a new dress, specially. With what money? She just told me her card wasn't working. That's different. She's creative with money. You're the responsible one. I checked the tracking numbers again. Mum's letter was already out for delivery. I have to go, Mum. Big meeting. Don't you dare hang up on... I ended the call and switched my phone to silent. The first letter would be delivered any minute now. Opening my desk drawer, I pulled out copies of everything I'd sent. Bank statements showing Quinn's gambling debts, screenshots of Victoria's luxury purchases while claiming poverty, parents' credit card statements revealing their reckless spending. My computer dinged again. Dad this time. Princess, your mother's upset. Call her immediately. P.S. Contractor needs that deposit today. I drafted another email. Dear Dad, no deposit, no dinner, no more enabling. Check your mailbox. Isla. Larry appeared again. Isla, got a minute? Board wants to discuss your promotion. Promotion? The Riverside account's just the beginning. We're thinking junior partner. My phone screen lit up with texts. Mum, Isla Marie, answer your phone. Quinn, banks sending collectors. Victoria, can't believe you're bailing on dinner? So selfish. Dad, called contractor, he's waiting. I silenced them all and followed Larry to the conference room. Behind me, my computer showed the tracking update I'd been waiting for. Delivered, signed by Hazel Hall. The first letter had arrived. I sat through the board meeting in a strange calm, discussing strategy and growth projections while imagining Mom opening that envelope. By now, she'd be reading about every time she'd dismissed my achievements, every double standard, every manipulation. My phone kept lighting up, but I didn't check it. Let them read. Let them realise. Let them face their own reflections in the mirror I'd crafted from years of receipts, screenshots, and carefully documented lies. Back at my desk, I had 37 missed calls and counting. The second letter would arrive within hours. Dad's turn to face the truth. Larry stopped by one last time. Everything okay? Your phone's been buzzing non-stop. Just family learning some hard lessons about accountability. He nodded sagely. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do is stop protecting people from the consequences of their own actions. I glanced at my silent phone, imagining the chaos unfolding at my parents' house. Tomorrow, Victoria and Quinn would get their letters. The full set would be complete. The truth was in the mail, and there was no returning to sender. The first voicemail came at 6:43 a.m. Mum's voice trembled with rage. "How dare you? How dare you keep records like some accountant? We're your family." I deleted it and sipped my coffee, watching the sunrise from my apartment window. The second letter would reach Dad any minute now. My phone buzzed again. Quinn this time. "Mom's having a meltdown. What did you do?" Before I could respond, Victoria's message popped up. "OMG, you're actually insane. Mum's crying. Dad's not speaking. Is this because I didn't get you a birthday present last year? So petty." The tracking app updated. Delivered, signed by Axel Hall. My office phone rang. Larry's name flashed on the display. "Isla, your mother's in the lobby." My stomach dropped. "What? Should I have security escort her out?" "No, I'll handle it." I grabbed my laptop and headed downstairs. Mom stood in the middle of the lobby, clutching my letter, her yoga outfit clashing with the corporate atmosphere. "You ungrateful child." "Mum, this is my workplace." "Oh, now you're embarrassed? After sending this manifesto of lies?" I guided her toward a quiet corner. "Everything in that letter is true. I have proof." "Proof?" She waved the papers. "You kept receipts from 10 years ago. Who does that?" "Someone who knew this day would come. Your father can't even look at me. 23 years of marriage, and he never knew about the secret credit cards. Or the second mortgage you took out for Victoria's gallery." Her face reddened. "She needed that opportunity. And I needed my college fund that Quinn gambled away. Funny how my needs never seemed urgent enough." "We raised you better than this," she hissed. "Family doesn't keep score." "No, family doesn't play favourites. Family doesn't gaslight. Family doesn't..." My phone buzzed. Dad's message appeared. "Your mother's hysterical. Fix this, now." Another notification. Victoria's letter had been delivered. Mum's phone chimed. She checked it and went pale. "Victoria's threatening to move to Europe. See what you've done?" "Let me guess. She needs money for the plane ticket." "She's sensitive, creative. You've always been jealous of her spirit." Security was watching us now. I lowered my voice. "Mum, go home. Read the letter again. Really read it." "I will not." "Mrs. Hall," Larry appeared beside us. "I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave. We're about to start a board meeting." Mum straightened her yoga pants. "Of course. My daughter's very important now. Too important for family." As security escorted her out, my phone exploded with notifications. Victoria had posted on social media. "Some people can't handle others' success. Booking a one-way ticket to Paris. Need support from real family." Quinn replied immediately. "This is messed up, sis. But since you're burning bridges, can I get that loan before you go nuclear? Bank's seriously on my case." Dad sent a simple text. "Your mother's blood pressure is your responsibility now." I walked back to my office, hands shaking slightly. Larry followed. "Family drama?" "Something like that. Take the afternoon off if you need it. But first..." He smiled. "The board approved your promotion. Junior partner, effective immediately." My phone buzzed again. Victoria. "OMG, just got your psycho letter. Recording everything for my lawyer. Hope you're happy now that you've destroyed this family. PS. Still need help with art supplies if you're done being crazy." I declined the call and turned to Larry. "Actually, I think I'll stay. We have that strategy meeting at 2, right?" He nodded approvingly. "That's why you're partner material. You know how to prioritize." Back at my desk, I opened my email to find 67 new messages from family members. Subject lines ranged from "How could you?" to "Before you cut me off completely." The final tracking update appeared. Quinn's letter had arrived. Within minutes, the family group chat exploded. Victoria. She exposed everything. My shopping, Quinn's gambling, Mum's secret cards. Quinn. Those bank statements were private. This is illegal. Mum. We need to meet, all of us, tonight. Dad. Agreed. Isla, you will be there. I typed a single response. No. Then I muted the chat, turned off my phone, and opened the file for the strategy meeting. Let them rage. Let them threaten. Let them finally face the mirrors I'd spent years polishing. The truth was out, and I had a meeting to prepare for. They taught me well, after all. Family always comes first. They just never expected me to put myself first for once. My computer dinged with one final email from Victoria. Fine, I'm really booking that ticket to Paris now. Hope you're happy. I smiled and clicked delete. Some threats solved themselves. The pounding on my apartment door started at 8 p.m. sharp. Isla Marie, open this door right now, Mum's voice carried through the hallway. I took a deep breath and turned the lock. They all burst in. Mum, Dad, Victoria, with mascara-stained cheeks, and Quinn, looking unusually sober. Family intervention, Victoria announced dramatically, waving a printed copy of her letter. We're here to discuss your mental breakdown. Sit down, Dad commanded, his golfed hand stark against his white-knuckled grip on his own letter. I remained standing. No. Listen here, young lady, Mum started. No, you listen. I pulled out my phone. Should I play the voicemails from the loan companies looking for Quinn? Or maybe Victoria's credit card companies? Quinn shifted uncomfortably. Those records were private. Like my college fund was private, before you borrowed it. That was different, Mum interjected. He had a business opportunity. It was gambling debts, I said flatly, just like the money he's asking for now. Quinn's face reddened. You don't know? I have the bank statements, Quinn. Every casino withdrawal. Victoria jumped up. Well, what about my reputation? My followers are worried sick. I had to tell them I'm taking a mental health break in Paris. With what money? I asked. The art supply store called. Your credit card bounced again. See? Mum gestured wildly. She needs our help. Family helps family. No, Mum. Family doesn't exploit family. Family doesn't... Oh, spare us the lecture, Victoria interrupted. Just because you got lucky with some corporate job. Lucky? I laughed. I worked 60-hour weeks while you were finding yourself on my credit card. I paid you back. With bounced checks. Dad cleared his throat. Princess, about the kitchen renovation? The kitchen is fine, Dad. Your golf membership, however, that's different. I need to network. Network? I pulled out more papers. Is that what you call losing 10,000 in club gambling last month? The room went silent. Mum turned to Dad, mouth open. You said that money went to Quinn's car. Well, Dad tugged at his collar. Quinn jumped up. Wait, I got blamed for that. Sit down, Mum shouted. This is all Isla's fault. Keeping records like some spy? No, a quiet voice said. Everyone turned. It was Quinn. She's right, Victoria gasped. Traitor! No, look! Quinn ran his hands through his hair. I do have a gambling problem. The bank's not just threatening, they're pressing charges. Mum rushed to him. Baby, why didn't you say? Because you always fix everything. He stepped away from her. But Isla's right. It has to stop. Victoria jumped up. This is ridiculous. Quinn, don't let her manipulate you. Says the sister who got me fired for a prank? I countered. That was months ago. Get over it. Like you got over not getting into my university. Is that why you sabotage everything I achieve? I don't. Victoria stopped, tears forming. I just what? Just destroyed my career? Just maxed out my credit cards? I'm jealous, okay? She burst out. You make everything look so easy. School, work, life, while I'm just failing. The room fell silent again. Mum sank onto my couch, letter crumpling in her hands. We really are horrible, aren't we? She whispered. Dad stood up straighter. Now, let's not get carried away. No, look at these letters. Mum spread them out. Every manipulation, every guilt trip, every double standard. We did this, all of it. Victoria wiped her eyes, smearing mascara further. The prank wasn't supposed to... To what? I asked quietly. To hurt me, to derail my life, to make yourself feel better. Quinn picked up his letter. We need help, real help, not money, actual professional help. Therapy? Victoria scoffed, then paused. Actually, maybe. Mum looked up at me. You kept these records all these years. You knew this day would come. I hoped it wouldn't. Dad cleared his throat again. The contractor, I should probably cancel. Probably, I agreed. They left one by one. Quinn first, clutching a business card for a gambling addiction counsellor. Victoria next, makeup completely ruined, mumbling about cancelling her Paris posts. Dad slipped out quietly, already on the phone with his golf club. Mom lingered at the door. We really messed up, didn't we? Yes. Can we fix this? I looked at her steadily. That depends. Are you ready to actually change? She nodded slowly, then left without another word. I closed the door behind them, listening to their footsteps fade. Sometimes the hardest conversations are the most necessary ones, and sometimes the truth, however painful, is the only path to healing. 3 weeks after the confrontation, Mum called an emergency family meeting at their house. I almost didn't go, but Quinn's text convinced me. Things are different, promise. Walking into my childhood home, I immediately noticed changes. The designer furniture Mum had bought on credit was gone, replaced by their old comfortable pieces. Dad's golf trophies had vanished from the mantel. Victoria sat in the corner, unusually subdued, scrolling through her phone. Look, she said as I entered, holding up the screen. She'd posted, "Time to get real with my followers. No more fake Paris plans. Starting therapy and facing my truth. Authentic life sucked through harsh growth." Quinn arrived next, carrying a folder of papers. First NA meeting was yesterday, he said quietly. Should have done this years ago. Mum and Dad emerged from the kitchen, carrying coffee cups instead of their usual wine glasses. Sit, everyone, Mum said, her yoga designer outfit replaced by simple jeans and a sweater. We need to talk about changes. Dad cleared his throat. I've sold my golf club membership, paid off some of our credit cards. And I've cancelled my spa memberships, Mum added. We're seeing a financial advisor. Victoria looked up from her phone. I got a real job, like with actual hours and everything. Doing what? I asked, trying to keep the skepticism from my voice. Administrative assistant at an art gallery. She managed a small smile. Not running it, just learning the business properly this time. Quinn opened his folder. I've worked out payment plans with the banks. It'll take years, but... He looked at me. I'm not asking for loans anymore, promise. We're all in therapy, Mum said. Separately, and we're starting family sessions next week. She paused. If you'd consider joining us? I sat back, studying their faces. The usual manipulation was missing from their eyes. Instead, I saw something new. Accountability. I'll think about it. Dad stood up. There's something else. He walked to the hall closet and returned with a box. We found these while clearing out the credit card purchases. Inside were my old report cards, academic awards, newspaper clippings of my business competition wins, things I thought they'd never kept. "We did notice," Mum said softly. We let Victoria's drama and Quinn's crises overshadow everything. It was easier than admitting we were failing as parents." Victoria moved to speak, but the doorbell interrupted. "Oh," Mum looked flustered. "That must be—" Larry Ford walked in carrying a folder. "What's he doing here?" I stood up. "Sit down, Isla," Larry said kindly. "Your family called me last week. They wanted to understand exactly what they almost cost you." He opened the folder. "Should I tell them about the partnership track you're on? The clients you've brought in? The fact that 3 other firms have tried to headhunt you?" Victoria's phone dropped to her lap. "Other companies want you?" "Your sister," Larry continued, "is one of the most talented executives I've ever worked with. The prank that got her fired from Morgan & Pierce? It cost them their biggest account and their market position." Dad's face fell. "We had no idea." "No, you didn't." Larry turned to me. "I hope you don't mind me coming. They seemed genuine in wanting to understand." Mum wiped her eyes. "We were so focused on fixing everyone else's problems, we never saw how we were hurting you." "I have something to say." Victoria stood up. "I sabotaged you because I couldn't stand being the family failure anymore. But watching you succeed anyway, despite what I did, it made me realize I was the one holding myself back." Quinn nodded. "We all were. Using you as our safety net meant we never had to grow up." Larry smiled. "Well, my work here is done. Isla, take tomorrow off. I think your family has more to discuss." He headed for the door, then turned back. "Oh, and the board meeting about your senior partnership is next week." After he left, silence fell. Mum broke it first. "We can't undo what we did," she said. "But we can do better going forward. Real change, not just promises. Starting with paying our own bills," Dad added. "And facing our own problems," Quinn said. Victoria stood up. "And celebrating your success instead of trying to sabotage it." I looked around at their faces, genuinely remorseful, finally aware of their actions. The manipulation and entitlement had been replaced by something that looked surprisingly like growth. "Okay," I said finally. "I'll come to family therapy, but on one condition." "Anything," Mum said quickly. "We do it right this time. Complete honesty. No more secrets, no more enabling, no more guilt trips." They nodded, and for the first time in years, I felt something shift. Not forgiveness, exactly. That would take time. But possibility. The possibility of a healthier family dynamic built on truth instead of manipulation. Sometimes the hardest lessons come from seeing your own reflection in someone else's mirror. And sometimes, just sometimes, that reflection can spark real change. And that concludes our quarterly family financial review, the therapist said, closing her notebook. "Quinn, excellent progress on the gambling recovery. Victoria, your savings account is growing. Mr. and Mrs. Hall, your credit card debt is nearly cleared." I sat back in my chair, watching my family's proud faces. These monthly meetings had become our new normal, a chance to hold each other accountable and celebrate real progress. "Isla's turn," Mum said, but without the old demanding tone. "How's the senior partnership going?" "Actually," I pulled out some papers. "I wanted to discuss something with everyone." Victoria tensed. "You're not moving away, are you?" "No," I smiled. "I'm starting my own consulting firm. Larry's backing me as a silent partner." Instead of immediate demands for jobs or money, my announcement was met with thoughtful silence. "That's incredible," Quinn said finally. "You always were the entrepreneurial one." "Remember her lemonade stand?" Dad chuckled. "She made enough to buy her own bicycle while Victoria was giving free drinks to cute boys." Victoria laughed. Actually, laughed at the memory. And Quinn kept drinking the inventory. Speaking of inventory, I continued, I'll need help with market research. Victoria, your social media expertise could be useful. Paid consultancy, of course. Proper contract and everything. Her eyes widened. You trust me? After everything? You've earned it. Your gallery work shows you've changed. Mum started to speak, probably to suggest Dad's involvement, but caught herself. That's wonderful, dear. Let us know if you need anything. Emotional support, not money, she added quickly. The therapist smiled. This is excellent progress. Shall we discuss holiday plans? Last year's boundaries worked well. Actually, Quinn spoke up, I have an announcement too. He pulled out his 9-month sobriety chip. The bank agreed to drop charges since I've stuck to the payment plan. And I'm leading a support group for other gambling addicts. Dad reached for his wallet, an old habit, then stopped himself. Instead, he simply said, I'm proud of you, son. Victoria raised her hand like a schoolgirl. My turn. The gallery offered me a promotion. Assistant manager with a real salary. No more exposure payments or commission-only tricks. That's wonderful, Mum beamed, then turned to me. Isla, remember when you said we needed to face our true reflections? You were right. These meetings, the therapy, the accountability, it saved our family. Speaking of accountability, Dad added, the house is officially mortgage-free. No more secret loans or credit cards. The therapist made a final note. This seems like a natural conclusion to our family sessions. You've all developed healthy boundaries and communication skills. Would you like to schedule follow-ups quarterly instead of monthly? We looked at each other, a silent understanding passing between us. The old dynamics were gone. No more enabler and enabled, no more golden child and scapegoat, no more manipulation and guilt. I think we're ready, I said. Outside the therapist's office, Victoria grabbed my arm. Hey, about that social media consultancy. I actually have some ideas. Real ones, not schemes. Could I pitch them to you? Over coffee, maybe? I'd like that. Quinn checked his watch. Got to run, leading a meeting tonight. Dad, need a ride to your book club? Dad nodded. The golf clubs had been replaced by a passion for reading, a much cheaper and healthier hobby. Mum hugged me, a real hug without the old passive-aggressive pat. Dinner this Sunday? I'm cooking. Nothing fancy, just family time. Sure, Mum, I'll bring dessert. As they left, I checked my phone. A message from Larry. Board approved your resignation. Ready to be your own boss? I looked up at my family getting into their separate cars, each going to their own lives, their own responsibilities, their own achievements. No more codependency, no more enabling, no more toxic patterns. Victoria turned back. Coffee tomorrow at 10? That new place on Main? Perfect. Bring those ideas. And Isla? She hesitated. Thank you. For not giving up on us, even when we deserved it. I watched them drive away, remembering the letters that had started this journey. They'd been bombs of truth, but from their explosion had grown something unexpected. A real family built on respect instead of obligation, support instead of enabling, truth instead of manipulation. My phone buzzed again. A family group chat message from Quinn. Proud of everyone today. We've come so far. Mum replied with a simple heart emoji. No guilt trip, no demands, just love. I smiled and typed, see you Sunday. Sometimes the hardest letters to write led to the best endings. And sometimes the truth, however painful, sets everyone free.
The cake sits untouched in front of me. 21 perfect candles burning down to stubs while the entire room erupts in a chorus of "Happy Birthday," directed at my brother Ryan. I watch the flames dance, counting each second until they melt into the pristine white frosting, much like my own celebration has melted into his. I'm Jade. Today is my 21st birthday, and I'm watching my parents throw a party for my brother's latest internship offer. Make a wish, champion. My father's voice booms across our living room, his hand clasped proudly on Ryan's shoulder. The same shoulder that's wearing the designer suit they bought him last week, while I'm still wearing the dress I bought at a thrift store with my cafe wages. This is such a proud moment. My mother gushes, her mascara slightly smudged from happy tears. Harvard Law's top internship program. We always knew you were destined for greatness. I grip my fork until my knuckles turn white. The metal bites into my palm, grounding me as the room spins with congratulatory cheers. Aunt Carol is dabbing her eyes. Uncle Steve is already talking about connections at his law firm. My cousin Sophie catches my eye from across the room, her expression a mirror of my disgust. Speech? Someone calls out, and Ryan stands, flashing that perfect smile that's gotten him everything he's ever wanted. I just want to thank everyone for being here today. He starts, and I can't help but notice how he's positioned himself in front of the happy birthday banner, my banner, that Mother hastily covered with congratulations streamers this morning. The words bubble up before I can stop them. Interesting timing for this celebration. The room goes quiet. Mother's smile freezes, that practiced expression she uses when trying to maintain control. Jade, dear, let's not what, Mother? Not mention that it's my birthday? Or not mention how you converted my celebration into Ryan's victory lap? You're being dramatic. Father cuts in, his tone sharp. This is a significant achievement for the family. The family? I laugh, and it sounds hollow even to my ears. You mean for Ryan. Everything's always for Ryan. Ryan at least has the decency to look uncomfortable. Sis, come on. Don't sis me. I stand up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. 21 years of watching you get everything while I get the leftovers. Did you know I got accepted into Columbia's writing program? Of course not, because when I told them last week, they were too busy planning this party. That's enough. Father's face is turning red. You're embarrassing yourself in this family. This family embarrasses itself. I snap back. The great Derek and Laura, so focused on their golden child, they forgot they had a daughter. Well, congratulations. You've finally pushed me to my limit. Mother steps forward, her voice trembling. If you can't appreciate what we've done for this family, perhaps you should... Should what? Leave? Is that what you want to say, Mother? Finally get rid of the disappointment? If that's how you feel, Father says coldly, there's the door. The room holds its breath. I look around at the faces, some shocked, some embarrassed, some carefully neutral. Only Sophie and my grandmother Margaret show any sign of understanding. Fine. I grab my purse from the coat rack. Happy birthday to me. Jade, Ryan calls after me, but I'm already walking out the door. The spring air hits my face, carrying the scent of blooming cherry blossoms, the trees I used to climb as a kid while Ryan got private tennis lessons. My phone buzzes. It's Ella. Did you do it? Did you finally stand up to them? I text back with shaking fingers. It's done. Can I crash at your place? Her response is immediate. Already setting up the spare room. And Jade, I'm proud of you. I take one last look at the house, at the perfect lawn and the perfect windows with their perfect curtains, hiding the perfectly crafted lie of our family. Something shifts inside me, a switch flipping from hurt to determination. They want me gone? Fine. But they're about to learn that the daughter they never wanted is the one they should have feared the most. Ella's spare room feels like a life raft in a storm. 3 days since I walked out, and the silence of not having to measure every word, every breath, is almost deafening. I sit cross-legged on the borrowed bed, staring at my phone's black screen, counting the notifications I'm not getting from my family. Earth to Jade, Ella says, leaning against the doorframe with 2 steaming mugs. Your coffee's getting cold and your interview outfit is getting wrinkled. I smooth out the blazer laid across the bed. Sorry, just thinking about... Don't. She hands me the coffee. That's your third time almost mentioning them today. We're focusing on your future, remember? The coffee burns my tongue, but I welcome the pain. It's better than the hollow feeling in my chest. The Urban Grind interview is in 2 hours. I should probably... My phone buzzes. Grandmother Margaret's name lights up the screen. Jade, darling, are you safe? I'm okay, Gran. I'm staying with Ella. Good girl. Listen carefully. I've been waiting for you to finally stand up to them. There are things you need to know, but not over the phone. Can you meet me at Riverside Park tomorrow? The usual bench? Before I can respond, I hear Mother's voice in the background. Margaret quickly adds, I have to go. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock. And hangs up. Ella raises an eyebrow. That sounded cryptic. Gran's always been different from the rest of them. She actually sees me. I stand up, straightening my blazer. But right now, I need this job. I can't keep crashing here without contributing. Please, as if I'd let you pay rent. Ella throws a cushion at me. But you're right about the job. You need your own money if you're really cutting ties. The Urban Grind sits on the corner of maple-lined Cedar Street, its brick facade warm and inviting. Inside, the interview room smells like freshly ground coffee and possibility. Your application is impressive, the manager, Sarah, says, but there's a gap in your references. No family contacts? I meet her eyes steadily. I prefer to keep my professional and personal life separate. She nods, something knowing in her expression. Fair enough. When can you start? Walking out with a job offer and training schedule, I almost miss Ryan leaning against my car. Almost. Nice ride, he says, tapping the rusty fender of my secondhand Honda. Better than walking, I guess. What do you want? To talk. You're still my sister, Jade. Funny, I don't remember you mentioning that at the party. He runs a hand through his perfect hair, a nervous tic I recognize from childhood. Look, I didn't know they were going to hijack your birthday. I tried to tell them, save it. I unlock my car door. You've never had to try for anything in your life, Ryan. Everything's just handed to you while I scrape by. Did you know they promised to pay for my college too? Funny how that money disappeared right when your law school deposits were due. His face pales slightly. That's not... I didn't know... Exactly. You never know because you never have to look. Must be nice in that bubble of yours. Mom and Dad are worried. They want you to come home. I laugh, and it sounds bitter even to my ears. Home? That stopped being my home the day they decided I was worth less than you. Tell them I said thanks for the birthday gift. Clarity looks good on me. As I drive away, my phone buzzes with a text from Sophie. Found something in Uncle Derek's study. You need to see these papers. Can you meet tonight? I glance in my rearview mirror. Ryan's still standing there, looking lost for maybe the first time in his life. Good. Let him feel a fraction of what I've felt for years. Tomorrow, I'll meet Gran and hear whatever she needs to tell me. Tonight, I'll see what Sophie's found. The pieces are moving, and for once, I'm not just a pawn in someone else's game. Ella's waiting when I get back, victory cupcake in hand. Got the job? Start training tomorrow. I take the cupcake, but don't eat it. Ella, I need to ask you something. If this gets ugly, really ugly, are you sure you want to be involved? She takes my hand, squeezing it tight. Honey, I've watched them dim your light for years. It's about time someone helped you shine. I squeeze back, thinking of Gran's cryptic call and Sophie's message. Then let's get started. The morning air bites at my face as I hurry through Riverside Park. Gran's already at our bench, her silver hair catching the autumn light. She's holding a thick manila envelope, her fingers trembling slightly as she grips it. You look tired, darling, she says as I sit beside her. First week at the new job. Everything hurts except my pride. I try to smile, but Gran's expression stops me. What's wrong? She presses the envelope into my hands. These are copies of documents I found in your father's study last year. Bank statements, transfer records, letters, the truth about your college fund. Inside, I find papers dating back 5 years. My fingers go numb as I scan the numbers. This can't be right. There's over $200,000 here. Your grandfather set up trust funds for both you and Ryan before he died. Equal amounts. Gran's voice hardens. Your father was supposed to be the trustee until you turned 21. Yesterday. The world tilts sideways. But they said they couldn't afford my tuition. That's why I had to take out loans. They transferred your money to Ryan's account. Gradually, over years, private schools, sports camps, that ridiculous car. She takes my hand. I tried to stop it, but Derek threatened to cut off my access to the family if I interfered. My phone buzzes. Sophie calling. I ignore it, my hands shaking as I flip through more documents. Does Ryan know? No. He's as much a victim of their manipulation as you are, just in a different way. They've made him dependent, entitled. Another buzz. Sophie again. This time I answer. Jade, thank God. You need to get home right now. Your father found out I was in his study. He's destroying everything. My heart stops. What do you mean, destroying? Papers, files, everything. He knows someone's been looking into the accounts. He's in a complete panic. Gran grabs my arm. Go, now. I'll make copies of these. I drive like a woman possessed, reaching my parents' house in record time. Sophie meets me at the side door, her face pale. They're in the study. Your mom's trying to calm him down, but... A crash from upstairs cuts her off. We race up together, finding the study door locked. Open this door. I pound on the wood. I know what you did with my trust fund. Silence falls inside. Then my father's voice, eerily calm. You don't understand anything, Jade. I understand enough. $200,000, Dad. My future. You stole it. We invested it in your brother's future. The family's future. Mother's voice now, strained. Everything we did was for this family. No, I say, my voice steady despite the rage burning in my chest. Everything you did was for Ryan. And now everyone's going to know. The door flies open. Father stands there, papers scattered around him, a wastepaper basket smoldering with half-burned documents. You wouldn't dare destroy this family's reputation. You already did that yourself. I hold up my phone, recording. And now I have proof. His face contorts. You ungrateful. Derek! Mother grabs his arm as he steps toward me. For the first time, I see fear in her eyes. Sophie slips past them into the study, quickly gathering fallen papers. I'm done covering for you, Uncle Derek. This ends now. You're both making a terrible mistake, Mother says, but her voice wavers. I laugh, and it sounds like breaking glass. No, the mistake was thinking you could get away with this forever. The mistake was believing I'd stay quiet. The mistake was forgetting that I'm your daughter, too. Father slumps against his desk, suddenly looking old. You don't understand what pressure we were under. Ryan's future? Save it for the lawyers. I turn to leave, then pause. Oh, and happy birthday to me. Finally got my inheritance after all. Outside, Sophie hands me the salvaged papers, her hands shaking. What now? My phone buzzes with a text from Gran. Document safe. Your grandfather would be proud. Now, I say, watching my parents' silhouettes in the study window. We make them face everything they tried to burn away. And we do it together. The autumn wind whips around us, carrying away the smell of burned paper and lies. For the first time since my birthday party, I feel truly, completely alive. The annual family reunion invitation sits on Ella's coffee table like a loaded gun. I've been staring at it for an hour, the gold embossing catching the afternoon light. This year's host? Ryan. It's perfect, Sophie says through my phone's speaker. Everyone will be there. The whole family will have to face what they did. I trace the embossed letters. Ryan's hosting at the lake house. That's where your grandfather signed the trust documents. Gran finishes, her voice joining Sophie's on the conference call. Derek won't expect you to know that detail. My hands shake as I pull out the trust fund papers. Have either of you told Ryan anything? He came by yesterday, Gran says, hesitating. He's different. Asked about you. About why you really left. The doorbell rings. I freeze, but Ella's already opening it. Ryan stands there, looking uncertain in a way I've never seen before. Can we talk? He glances at my phone. Alone? I end the call, nodding to Ella as she slips into her bedroom. Ryan sits across from me, his eyes falling on the papers spread across the table. I found some interesting documents in Father's study, he says quietly, about my car, my schools, your missing college fund. How much do you know? Enough to make me sick. He runs his hands through his hair, that nervous tick again. I swear, Jade, I had no idea. I thought they were just better off than they let on. They were, with my money. I'll pay it back, all of it. I've already talked to my bank about... This isn't about the money anymore. I meet his eyes. This is about years of lies. About them making you their golden child while treating me like I didn't exist. About them burning evidence when they realized I knew. He picks up the reunion invitation. That's why I'm hosting. I want you there, Jade. Help me make this right. Make it right? I laugh, but it catches in my throat. You can't just write a check and fix this. No, but I can help you expose them. His voice drops. Father's been moving money around, not just yours. There are other accounts, other families involved. Aunt Carol's kids' inheritance, Uncle Steve's business loans. My heart stops. How deep does this go? Deep enough to destroy him. To destroy them both. He pulls out his phone, showing me screenshots of bank statements. The lake house party? It's not just a reunion. Father's planning to announce his retirement, hand everything over to me. His company, his reputation, his secrets. I study my brother's face, looking for any trace of manipulation. Why are you showing me this? Because you're my sister. Because I was too blind to see what they were doing to you. Because... He swallows hard. Because I need your help to stop them before they do this to anyone else. The invitation seems to pulse with new meaning. The whole family will be there. Everyone they've ever stolen from. Everyone they've lied to. Ryan's hands clench. Help me end this, Jade. Not just for you. For all of us. I stand, walking to Ella's window. The street below is filling with evening traffic. People heading home to their normal families, their uncomplicated lives. If we do this, I say finally, we do it my way. No warnings, no chances for them to hide more evidence. Agreed. Ryan stands too. But Jade? There's something else you should know. About Grandmother Margaret. My stomach drops. What about her? She didn't just find those documents last year. She's been tracking their schemes for decades, and... He hesitates. She has proof that this started before we were even born. With our real inheritance. The one our grandfather never meant for Father to control. The pieces click together. Gran's careful questions over the years, her subtle support, her determination to keep me independent. The reunion's in 2 weeks. Ryan says, heading for the door. Whatever you decide, I'm done being their puppet. After he leaves, Ella emerges. Well? I pick up the invitation, feeling its weight. Call Sophie and Gran. We need to move faster than we planned. Are you sure about trusting Ryan? I think about his nervous tick, his screenshots, the sick look in his eyes. No, but I'm sure about one thing. This just got bigger than revenge. The invitation catches the last ray of sunlight, glinting like a blade. The lake house looms ahead as I drive up the winding road, its windows reflecting the setting sun like warning signals. 3 days until the reunion, and my hands won't stop shaking. Ryan's car is already parked out front, along with Gran's old Mercedes. I find them in the study, surrounded by papers and laptops. Gran looks up first, her face tight with worry. It's worse than we thought, darling. Ryan turns his laptop toward me. Father's been moving money through shell companies for years, not just family funds, corporate accounts, client trusts, everything. The screen shows a maze of transactions, each one leading back to familiar names. Aunt Carol's children's college funds, Uncle Steve's failed business loans, Cousin Thomas's medical care money. He's built his entire empire on stolen futures. Gran says quietly. Your grandfather suspected but could never prove it. My phone buzzes. A text from Sophie. Uncle Derek just left our house. He knows something's wrong. Be careful. We need to move faster, Ryan says, running his hands through his hair. He's already started transferring assets overseas. Once that's done, he'll disappear with everything. I finish, including the proof. Gran touches a stack of old letters. There's something else. Your mother, she's not just complicit. She's been the architect of all this. The accounting, the cover-ups, the manipulations, they're all in her handwriting. The room spins slightly. I grip the back of a chair, feeling the smooth wood under my fingers. All those times she pushed me aside. She wasn't just favoring Ryan. She was protecting their scheme. Jade. Ryan's voice is strange. There's more. Look at this. He hands me a document, dated 21 years ago. My birth certificate, with an attached insurance policy. A life insurance policy. In Mother's name. She took it out the day you were born. Gran whispers. $5 million. Payable only if I died before 21. The words taste like ash. That's why they threw Ryan's party on my birthday. They were celebrating that the policy expired. That they didn't have to. The study door slams open. Mother stands there, her perfect makeup not quite hiding her fury. What are you doing here? Laura. Gran starts, but Mother cuts her off. You've poisoned them against us, haven't you, Margaret? Filled their heads with lies about their father? The only lies here are yours, I say, holding up the insurance policy. Were you disappointed when you didn't get to cash this in? Something flickers in her eyes. Not guilt, but frustration. You don't understand what it takes to build something lasting, to secure a legacy. By betting on your daughter's death? Ryan stands, his face pale. By stealing from our entire family? Everything we did was for you, Ryan, for your future. She steps forward, reaching for him. We can still protect that future. Together. Just help me gather these papers and we can stop. My voice doesn't shake anymore. Every word you say just proves what you really are, what you've always been. And what's that? Her smile is razor sharp. A monster who saw her children as investments, nothing more. She laughs, and it sounds like breaking glass. Oh, darling, you have no idea what real monsters look like. But you will. She pulls out her phone. Derek, they're here. All of them. Yes, with the documents. A pause. Of course, I'm sure. It's time to implement contingency plan B. The line goes dead, and Mother's smile widens. You have 30 minutes to leave this house and forget everything you've seen. After that? She shrugs elegantly. Well, accidents do happen at lake houses, even to adults. You're threatening us? Ryan steps between her and me. Your own children? I'm protecting our legacy, as I always have. She turns to leave, then pauses. Oh, and Jade, happy belated birthday. Such a shame you won't make it to 22. After she's gone, Gran grabs her keys. We need to move, now. Get everything to my car. But I'm staring at the insurance policy, something clicking into place. No, we stay. Jade. The reunion's in 3 days. Everyone will be here. I meet Ryan's eyes, seeing my own determination reflected back. Let them come. All of them. It's time they saw what real monsters look like in the daylight. Gran touches my arm. And if your parents follow through on their threat, I pick up Mother's forgotten phone, left deliberately on the desk. Then they'll have to explain a lot more than missing money to the police, because I just recorded every word. The lake house windows darken with the setting sun, no longer reflecting warnings but promises. In 3 days, everything changes, one way or another. The lake house fills with relatives as evening falls, their chatter echoing off the walls like accusations. I stand in the corner of the great room, watching Father work the crowd with practiced charm. Mother floats between groups, her laugh just a touch too bright. Ryan hasn't arrived yet. Quite the turnout. Sophie whispers, appearing at my elbow. Aunt Carol's been crying in the bathroom. Something about Thomas's medical bills coming due. My phone buzzes. A text from Ryan. Delayed. Someone broke into my apartment. All the documents are gone. The room suddenly feels too small, too warm. I slip onto the balcony, gripping the railing until my knuckles turn white. Another buzz. Police are here. Father's name came up in their questions. Problems? Mother's voice makes me jump. She stands in the doorway, backlit by the party lights, looking more predator than parent. Such a shame about Ryan's break-in. These things happen when people don't properly secure their belongings. What did you do? Me? She sips her wine. I'm just a devoted mother, celebrating her son's success. Speaking of which, your father's about to make his big announcement. You wouldn't want to miss it. Inside, father taps his glass for attention. Family, friends, thank you all for coming to celebrate Ryan's achievement in hosting his first family gathering. But I have an even bigger announcement. The crowd murmurs expectantly. I scan the room. No Gran, no Ryan. My chest tightens. As of tonight, I'm officially retiring, father continues, and I'm proud to announce that Ryan will be taking over as CEO of our family enterprise. Applause breaks out. Uncle Steve raises his glass, his smile strained. To Ryan, though some of us are still waiting on those business loans you promised, Derek? All in good time, father says smoothly. In fact, I have some papers here that should interest several of you regarding your investments. He reaches into his briefcase and pulls out a stack of documents. My heart stops. They're forgeries. They have to be. The real papers are gone, stolen from Ryan's apartment. Jade. Mother's hand closes around my arm, her nails digging in. Why don't you join me in the study? We need to discuss your future. Let go of me. Now, dear. Her grip tightens. Before you embarrass yourself again. The study door clicks shut behind us. Father's already there, along with two men I don't recognize. Meet our security consultants, Mother says. They're very good at handling delicate situations. Like breaking into Ryan's apartment? Father sighs. Ryan made his choice. Disappointing, but manageable. You, however? He nods to one of the men, who moves to block the door. You've become a liability we can no longer afford. The insurance policy expired, I say, backing away. You can't... Oh, darling. Mother laughs. There are so many ways to have accidents, especially at lake houses, especially after drinking too much at family gatherings. A glass appears in her hand. My glass from earlier. Your fingerprints, your DNA. Combined with your history of emotional instability and recent erratic behavior, the second man steps forward, something glinting in his hand. My back hits the wall. Why? My voice cracks. I'm your daughter. No, Father says quietly. You're a mistake I should have corrected years ago. The door bursts open. Ryan stands there, bloody and disheveled. Police are on their way. I triggered the silent alarm when I saw your security consultants following me. Ryan, Mother starts, but he cuts her off. Save it. I heard everything. He holds up his phone. And so did the detective who's been investigating your financial fraud for the past year. Sirens wail in the distance. The security men exchange glances, then slip out a side door. Father's face contorts with rage. You ungrateful... He lunges for Ryan. I move without thinking, grabbing the heavy paperweight from his desk. The impact drops him to his knees. Mother screams, but it's drowned out by the sound of breaking glass and shouting from the great room. Gran's voice rises above the chaos. The real documents are being projected on the wall right now. Every transaction, every theft, every lie. Father struggles to his feet, blood trickling from his temple. You've destroyed everything. No, I say, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. You did that yourself. Years ago, when you decided money was worth more than your children's love. The sirens grow louder. Mother backs away, her perfect mask finally cracking. Derek, the offshore accounts are frozen. Ryan finishes, along with everything else. Blue lights flash through the windows as police cars fill the driveway. I look at my parents, really look at them, and feel nothing but pity. Happy retirement, Father, I say, and walk out to face whatever comes next. The great room erupts into chaos as the projector displays decades of financial records across the wall. Aunt Carol collapses into a chair, Uncle Steve hurls his glass across the room, and cousins I haven't spoken to in years start shouting all at once. Father stands frozen at the front of the room, his retirement speech forgotten. Mother's perfect smile cracks like thin ice. Those documents are fabricated, she announces, but her voice wavers. This is nothing but a desperate attempt by our jealous daughter to— To what, Mother? Tell the truth? I step forward, Ryan at my side. About how you stole from everyone in this room? About the life insurance policy you took out on me? About how you were willing to kill your own daughter tonight to keep your secrets? The room falls silent. Even the police officers who just entered pause, hands on their weapons. Everything we did. Father starts, then stops as Gran walks in, carrying a familiar leather briefcase. Is that what you told yourself, Derek? When you forged your father's signature on those trust documents? She opens the briefcase, pulling out yellowed papers. Or when you and Laura orchestrated my husband's accident after he threatened to expose you? Mother's composure shatters. You can't prove— Actually, she can. Ryan's voice is steel. Grandfather's original autopsy report, the one you buried, the one showing poison in his system. Father lunges for the briefcase, but the police are faster. As they read him his rights, he locks eyes with me. You ungrateful child, he spits. We gave you everything. No. My voice doesn't shake anymore. You took everything. My inheritance, my education, my childhood. You even tried to take my life. We were protecting the family legacy. Mother shrieks as an officer approaches her. Everything was for this family. Was it? I gesture to the room, to the devastated faces of our relatives. Look around, Mother. Look at all the lives you've destroyed. The children who couldn't afford college, Thomas's medical bills, Uncle Steve's failed business. All so you could build Ryan into your perfect heir. I never wanted that. Ryan steps forward. I never wanted any of it. Mother's face twists. Then you're as weak as she is. All our sacrifices wasted on— Sacrifices? I laugh, and it sounds like breaking chains. You sacrificed nothing. You stole, you lied, you murdered. And for what? To feel powerful? To play God with other people's lives? You don't understand what it takes to build something lasting, Father says, echoing Mother's words from earlier. But now they sound hollow, desperate. I understand perfectly. I pull out my phone, playing the recording of their threats in the study. I understand that you're not parents. You're not even human. You're just empty shells so afraid of losing control that you destroy your own children to keep it. As the police lead them away, Mother turns back one last time. This isn't over, Jade. Families like ours don't air their dirty laundry. No one will believe. Everyone already believes. Sophie points to the windows where news vans are pulling up. The whole story's going live right now. Every transaction, every threat, every crime. Father slumps in defeat, but Mother struggles against the officers. You've destroyed everything. No, Mother. I watch as they're led away, feeling nothing but a profound emptiness. I've set everyone free, including myself. The room buzzes with shocked conversations and legal discussions. Aunt Carol hugs me, crying about finally being able to send her kids to college. Uncle Steve talks with the detective about recovering his stolen funds. Thomas's mother thanks me through tears. Ryan touches my arm. You okay? I don't know. I look around at the wreckage of our family's facade. Are any of us? We will be. Gran appears beside me, her eyes fierce with pride. Your grandfather would be proud, darling. You've done what he couldn't, exposed the truth. The truth, I repeat, tasting the word. It feels different now, less like revenge and more like justice. What happens next? Next? Sophie joins us, linking her arm through mine. We rebuild, but this time on a foundation of truth. Through the windows, I watch my parents disappear into separate police cars. The life they built on lies crumbles behind them, but in its ruins, I see something unexpected. Hope. Not just for me, but for everyone they hurt. The lake house stands silent, its secrets finally exposed to the light. And in that light, I find something I never expected to feel. Freedom. The courthouse steps feel colder than they should in spring. I watch my parents being led away in handcuffs, their designer clothes replaced by prison orange. Mother doesn't look back. Father does, just once. And in his eyes, I see something I've never seen before. Understanding. The court's decision to seize their assets means everyone they stole from will be compensated. Ryan says beside me, his voice steady. Thomas's medical bills, Aunt Carol's kids' college funds, Uncle Steve's business loans, everything. Almost everything. I touch the envelope in my pocket. Gran's final revelation. Did you know she'd been tracking their scheme since before we were born? That she'd been secretly moving money into trust funds for both of us? He shakes his head. She protected us in her own way, just like you protected everyone by exposing the truth. Inside the envelope, photographs show a younger version of our grandmother, standing beside our grandfather at the lake house. Their smiles are genuine, untainted by the greed that would later poison our family. I found this in Father's study. I hand Ryan a letter, its edges worn. It's from Grandfather, written the day before he died. He knew what they were doing. He was going to stop them. And they killed him for it. Ryan's hands shake as he reads. All these years, I thought. We both thought what they wanted us to think. I take the letter back, feeling its weight. But Gran knew. She waited, gathered evidence, protected us until we were ready to face the truth. A familiar voice calls out, Jade! Ella runs up the courthouse steps, waving a newspaper. You need to see this. The headline reads, Family Empire Falls. Whistleblower Daughter Exposes Decades of Fraud. Below it, a smaller headline, Margaret Chen's Secret Legacy. How One Grandmother Protected Future Generations. There's more, Sophie says, appearing with her laptop. People are coming forward, other families, other victims. Your parents' scheme went beyond just our family, and now they can't hurt anyone else, I say. But the victory feels different than I imagined. Hollow, yet somehow fuller. Gran joins us, her silver hair catching the sunlight. Your grandfather used to say that family legacies aren't built on money or power. They're built on truth and love. I thought this was about revenge, I admit. About making them pay for what they did to me. But it was never just about me, was it? No, darling. She takes my hand. It was about breaking a cycle. About choosing what kind of legacy you want to leave. Ryan stares at the courthouse doors. What do we do now? The company, the properties, everything they built. We rebuild, I say, surprising myself. Not their way, with lies and manipulation, but honestly, together. Together, Sophie echoes, linking arms with me. The whole family, the real family. Ella hugs me tight. See? I told you you'd find your strength. But as I look around at these people, my brother who chose truth over privilege, my grandmother who protected us silently for years, my cousin who stood by me, my friend who never wavered, I realize something. I didn't find my strength, I say quietly. It was here all along, in the family I chose, the family that chose me back. A police officer approaches with one last document to sign, my final statement about the case. As I take the pen, I notice my hand doesn't shake anymore. Jade, Ryan says suddenly, look. Through the courthouse windows, I see the lake house in the distance, its windows no longer reflecting warnings but possibilities. And beside it, almost hidden by trees, a small building I never noticed before. Your grandfather's old study. Gran explains, where he kept his real records. There's something there you both need to see. Something about your true inheritance. More secrets? I ask, but without bitterness. She smiles, and it holds both sadness and hope. No, darling. No more secrets. Just truth. And perhaps a different kind of legacy to build. The spring breeze carries the scent of new beginnings as we descend the courthouse steps. Behind us, justice has been served. Ahead, something else waits. Not an ending, but a transformation. I take one last look at the newspaper headline, then let it blow away in the wind. Some stories don't need to be written in papers. They're written in the choices we make, the truths we face, and the love we choose to give. Even when, especially when, it's not the easy choice.
I always knew my family saw me as a bank account with legs, but I never thought they'd actually rob me blind. My name is Maya, and I've been the responsible one for as long as I can remember. While my younger sister Sasha was getting her nails done and posting Instagram stories, I was working 60-hour weeks in international finance, sending money home, and making sure everyone else's life stayed picture perfect. The call came on a Tuesday morning in Singapore, where I'd been stationed for the past 8 months. I was reviewing quarterly reports when my laptop chimed with an incoming video call from home. Mom's face filled the screen, practically glowing with excitement. "Maya! Oh, honey, we have the most wonderful news." I leaned back in my chair, already sensing trouble. Mom only used that sing-song voice when she wanted something or had done something she knew I wouldn't like. "What's going on?" "Well, you know how Sasha's been planning her wedding to Xander. The wedding that's costing more than most people's houses?" I interrupted. Mom's smile faltered for half a second. "It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, Maya. Anyway, we found the perfect solution for the funding issue." My stomach dropped. "What kind of solution?" Dad's face appeared beside Mom's, wearing that jovial expression he always put on when he was about to deliver bad news, like it was a gift. "We sold your apartment." The words hit me like a physical blow. "You what?" "The downtown condo," Mom chirped. "We got an excellent price for it. More than enough to cover Sasha's wedding expenses and then some." I stared at the screen, my mind reeling. "That's my apartment. My name is on the deed." "Well, technically yes, but we've been managing it while you're away," Dad said, his tone suggesting this was perfectly reasonable. "And since you're not using it..." "I'm not using it because I'm working overseas to pay for everyone else's lifestyle." Sasha's face suddenly filled the frame, pushing our parents aside. She was radiant, practically bouncing with excitement. "Maya, isn't it perfect? Now I can have the wedding of my dreams at the Grandview Estate. 300 guests, live orchestra, imported flowers. Everything I've always wanted. Using money from selling my home," Sasha waved dismissively. "You can always buy another apartment when you get back. Besides, you're never even there. At least this way the money's going to something meaningful." "Meaningful." I repeated the word slowly, tasting its bitterness. "The wedding is in 6 weeks, Mom added. We've already put down deposits on everything. The venue, the caterer, Sasha's dress. It's going to be absolutely magical." I looked at their faces on the screen, Mom beaming with pride, Dad nodding along like he'd just announced a promotion, and Sasha glowing with self-satisfaction. Not one of them showed even a flicker of guilt or concern for what they'd done to me. "How exactly did you manage to sell property that's in my name?" Dad cleared his throat. "Well, we may have handled some of the paperwork ourselves. You know how these things work. Family helping family. You forged my signature." "That's such an ugly way to put it," Mom said, her voice taking on that wounded tone she used whenever anyone called out her behavior. "We're family. We look out for each other." "By committing fraud." Sasha rolled her eyes. "God, Maya, you're being so dramatic. It's not like you can't afford another place. You make tons of money. Money I've been sending home to keep this family afloat. And we're grateful," Dad said quickly. "This is just a one-time thing. For Sasha's special day." I stared at them, These people who shared my DNA but felt like strangers. The apartment wasn't just property to me, it was my sanctuary, my proof that I'd made something of myself, my escape from the suffocating dynamics of this family. And they'd sold it like it was a used car. Maya? Mom's voice was cautious now. Say something. Aren't you happy for your sister? I forced my expression into neutral territory, years of corporate negotiations teaching me to hide my emotions. Congratulations, Sasha. I'm sure it'll be a beautiful wedding. Sasha clapped her hands together. I knew you'd understand. You're the best big sister ever. I have to go, I said, my finger hovering over the disconnect button. Work calls. Of course, honey, Mom said. We love you. I ended the call and sat in the silence of my Singapore office, staring at my reflection in the black screen. They thought they'd played me perfectly. The dutiful daughter who'd swallow this betrayal with a smile and maybe even send a wedding gift. They had no idea what they'd just unleashed. I picked up my phone and scrolled to a contact I hadn't called in months. Kinley answered on the second ring. Maya, what's wrong? I need a favor, I said, my voice steady as steel. And it's going to get messy. I'm listening. My family just made the biggest mistake of their lives, and I'm about to show them exactly what the responsible daughter is capable of. I smiled for the first time since the call ended. Congratulations, Sasha, but you might want to check your own mail soon. Start from the beginning, Kinley said, her voice sharp with focus. What exactly did they do? I paced my hotel room, phone pressed to my ear. They sold my downtown condo, forged my signature on the documents, used the money for Sasha's wedding. Jesus, Maya. That's straight up fraud. Gets better. They've been managing the property while I'm overseas, so they had access to everything. Keys, documents, the works. How much are we talking about? The condo's worth about $400,000. They probably got close to that. Maybe more in this market. Kinley whistled low. Okay, first things first. Do you have copies of the original deed and mortgage documents? Everything's in my secure cloud storage. I learned a long time ago not to trust my family with important paperwork. Smart. What else do they have access to? I stopped pacing. This was the part I'd been dreading to admit out loud. Nothing. At least, nothing they know about. Meaning? Remember when I set up that holding company 3 years ago? Meridian Holdings? The one you used for your investment properties? Yeah, what about it? I transferred ownership of the condo to Meridian 6 months after I bought it. My parents think they sold property I owned directly, but legally, they just committed fraud against a corporation. Maya, you beautiful paranoid genius. So the sale is completely invalid? Completely. But there's more. I sat down on the bed, suddenly feeling the weight of what I was about to reveal. Kinley, who do you think has been paying my parents' mortgage for the past 4 years? Silence stretched across the line. Then, no. Tell me you didn't. Meridian Holdings has been making their mortgage payments. Anonymous benefactor, they think. Some distant relative who wanted to help but stay private. How much? $2,800 a month. Plus, I've been covering their credit card debt, car payments, and half of Sasha's college loans. All through shell accounts they can't trace back to me. Holy shit, Maya. You've been bankrolling their entire lifestyle? While living in a studio apartment in Singapore and eating ramen for dinner most nights? Yeah. And they just sold your home to fund a wedding. A $400,000 wedding. Kinley was quiet for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice had that dangerous edge I remembered from law school. What do you want me to do? First, file an injunction to void the sale. Fraud invalidates the entire transaction. Done. What else? Contact Meridian's bank. Stop all payments to my parents effective immediately. Mortgage, credit cards, everything. Maya, that'll trigger foreclosure proceedings within 60 days. I know. They'll lose their house. They should have thought of that before they stole mine. Okay. Anything else? I pulled up my laptop and started typing. I'm sending you documentation of every payment Meridian has made on their behalf. Bank records, transaction histories, everything. I want you to prepare a comprehensive report. For what? I'm going to gift it to them, right around the time their wedding bills start bouncing. You're really going nuclear on this. They declared war when they forged my signature. I'm just finishing what they started. My phone buzzed with an email notification. I glanced at the sender and felt a cold smile spread across my face. Kinley, I have to go. I just got an email from someone named Destiny. She's apparently Sasha's wedding planner. What's it say? I opened the message and scanned it quickly. She's having payment processing issues with the deposits. Wants to speak with someone from the family urgently. The checks are already bouncing? Looks like it. My parents probably wrote checks against the sale proceeds before the money actually cleared. Amateur hour. You can't spend money from a fraudulent transaction. They're about to learn that the hard way. I closed my laptop and headed for the window, looking out at the Singapore skyline. How long will the injunction take? I can file it tomorrow morning. With the fraud evidence, we should have a temporary restraining order within 48 hours. Perfect. That gives them just enough time to dig themselves deeper. Maya, are you sure about this? Once we start this process, there's no going back. Your family will know exactly who's been supporting them all these years. I thought about Sasha's smug face on the video call, the way she dismissed my feelings like I was being unreasonable for caring about my own home being stolen. Good. I want them to know. I want them to understand exactly what they threw away. All right. I'll start drafting the paperwork tonight. Thank you, Kinley. I owe you. You don't owe me anything. This is what friends do. Besides, I've been waiting years for you to finally stand up to them. After we hung up, I sat in the silence of my hotel room, staring at Destiny's increasingly frantic emails. 3 more had come in while I was talking to Kinley, each one more desperate than the last. I opened my laptop and began typing a response to the wedding planner. Not to help, to watch the dominoes fall. Dear Destiny, I wrote, I understand you're having payment issues with the Gill wedding. Unfortunately, I'm currently overseas and unable to assist with financial matters. You may want to contact the family directly about alternative funding sources. Best of luck with the event. I hit send and immediately opened a new browser window. Time to do some research on wedding cancellation policies and vendor contracts. My phone buzzed again. Another email from Destiny. This one marked urgent. I deleted it without reading it. Let the games begin. The next morning brought chaos, and I had a front row seat to watch it unfold. My phone started buzzing at 6 a.m. Singapore time with notifications from the family group chat I'd muted months ago. I unmuted it just to watch the show. Sasha. OMG, the florist is being so difficult about payment timing. Mom. Don't worry, sweetheart. Dad's handling it. Sasha. But what if they cancel our order? The peonies are perfect. Dad. Everything's fine. Just some banking delays. I screenshot the conversation and sent it to Kinley with a message. It's starting. My laptop chimed with a video call from Kinley. I answered, and her face appeared on screen, coffee mug in hand. The injunction's filed, she said without preamble. Judge Morrison is reviewing it this afternoon. How long until they freeze the funds? If he signs off, the bank will get the order by end of business today. All money from that sale gets locked down pending investigation. Perfect timing. Sasha's dress fitting is tomorrow. You're enjoying this way too much. Am I? Let me read you the latest email from Destiny the wedding planner. I pulled up my inbox and found her message from 20 minutes ago. Dear Maya, I'm reaching out because I'm unable to contact your parents, and several vendors are threatening to cancel services due to payment issues. The catering deposit bounced, the venue is demanding immediate payment, and the band wants cash up front. Please call me urgently. Ouch. Wait, there's more. She sent another one 5 minutes later. Maya, I'm starting to panic. Your sister keeps telling me everything's fine, but I have 17 vendors asking for money and your parents aren't returning calls. My reputation is on the line here. Kinley shook her head. That poor woman. She's about to learn an expensive lesson about due diligence. My phone rang. Dad's contact photo filled the screen. Him grinning at last year's Christmas dinner, arm around Sasha. Speak of the devil. You're not answering? God, no, but I'll put it on speaker so you can hear the voicemail. The call went to voicemail, and Dad's voice filled my hotel room, strained and trying too hard to sound casual. Hey Maya, it's Dad. Just wanted to chat about some minor banking hiccups we're having. Nothing serious, just some timing issues with the apartment sale. Give me a call when you get a chance, okay? Love you. Minor banking hiccups, Kinley repeated. That's one way to put it. He has no idea what's coming. My laptop pinged with another email. This one wasn't from Destiny. It was from someone named Jet at the Grandview Estate. Dear Ms. Gill, we've attempted to process the venue deposit multiple times, but all payments have been declined. Per our contract, we require full payment within 48 hours, or we'll need to release your date to other clients. Please contact us immediately. The venue's pulling out? Looks like it. And if I know Sasha, she's probably posted about this wedding all over social media. The embarrassment alone will kill her. Maya, your parents are calling me now. Don't answer. Let them sweat. Too late. I already declined it. But they left a voicemail. Play it. Kinley put her phone on speaker. Mom's voice came through, high-pitched and panicked. Kinley, this is Ava, Maya's mother. I know you and Maya are close, and we're having some confusion with our bank. Could you please ask Maya to call us? It's about the apartment sale, and there seems to be some kind of legal issue. We really need to talk to her. Legal issue, I repeated. That's cute. They're starting to figure it out. My phone buzzed with a text from Sasha. Maya, why aren't you answering Dad? This is my wedding. I showed Kinley the screen. She's still making it all about her. Of course she is. She's probably telling Xander that I'm being dramatic and difficult. Speaking of Xander, has he figured out what's happening? Not yet, but he will. His family has money. Old money. They know how to spot financial fraud. Another email popped up, this one from a vendor I didn't recognize. The subject line read, Gill Wedding, payment required. Maya, I'm looking at the bank records you sent me. Your parents have been living way beyond their means for years. Without your anonymous payments, they're completely screwed. Good. Their mortgage payment is due in 12 days. I know. Maya. What? They're going to lose everything. I stared at my reflection in the laptop screen, seeing a stranger looking back at me. Someone harder than I used to be. They stole my home, Kinley. They committed fraud. They've been bleeding me dry for years while treating me like an ATM. And when I needed them to respect the one thing that was truly mine, they sold it without a second thought. I know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just making sure you understand the consequences. I understand perfectly. My phone rang again. This time it was Sasha. Answer it, Kinley said. Let's hear what she has to say. I declined the call and waited for the voicemail. Sasha's voice was shrill with panic. Maya, what the hell is going on? Destiny is freaking out. The venue is threatening to cancel, and Mom and Dad are acting weird. You need to fix this right now. My wedding is in 5 weeks, and I am not letting you ruin it with whatever drama you're creating. Call me back. Whatever drama you're creating, Kinley repeated. Unbelievable. She still thinks this is my fault somehow. What's your next move? I opened a new document on my laptop and started typing. I'm preparing a little care package for my family. Bank records, payment histories, legal documents, everything they need to understand exactly how deep they're buried. When are you sending it? Tomorrow, right after Sasha's dress fitting gets canceled. My phone lit up with another call from Dad. Then Mom. Then Sasha again. I turned off the ringer and smiled. Let them panic. They're about to learn that actions have consequences. And Maya? Yeah? Remind me never to get on your bad side. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Too late for them to learn that lesson. The injunction hit at 3:47 p.m. their time. I know because Kinley called me the moment the bank froze the accounts. It's done, she said. Every penny from that apartment sale is locked down pending fraud investigation. How long until they find out? Probably when they try to make their next payment. Could be hours, could be... My phone exploded with notifications. The family group chat was going insane. Dad. What the hell is happening with our accounts? Mom. The bank says there's a legal hold on our money. Sasha. What does that mean? Dad. I'm calling Maya right now. I screenshot the chaos and sent it to Kinley. Found out sooner than expected. Dad's call came through immediately. I let it ring out, then played the voicemail on speaker. Maya, I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but you need to call me back right now. The bank froze our accounts and they're talking about fraud investigations. This isn't funny anymore. Game? Kinley raised an eyebrow. He thinks this is a game? Wait, there's more. Mom's voicemail came next, her voice shaking. Maya, sweetheart, please call us. There's been some terrible mistake with the bank. They're saying the apartment sale was illegal, but that's impossible. We're family. Please, honey, we need your help. Then Sasha's voice, pure venom. Maya, I swear to God, if you're behind this, I will never forgive you. My wedding is ruined. Destiny just called crying because nothing is paid for. Fix this now. Still making it all about her, Kinley observed. She has no idea how much worse it's about to get. I opened my laptop and pulled up the care package I'd been preparing. Bank statements, payment records, mortgage documents, everything showing exactly how much money I'd been funneling to my family for years. I'm sending it now. The whole package? Every last document. I want them to understand exactly what they've lost. I attached the files to an email and typed a simple message. Since you're having banking issues, I thought you might want to review your financial history. Pay special attention to the payments from Meridian Holdings. That's the company that's been covering your mortgage for the past 4 years. The same company that actually owned the apartment you just tried to steal. Consider this my resignation as your anonymous benefactor. Best of luck with the wedding. Maya. I hit send and immediately called Kinley back. It's done. They should get it any minute now. Maya, you just nuked them from orbit. They nuked themselves when they forged my signature. My phone started ringing again. Dad, then Mom, then Sasha. I declined every call and watched the voicemails pile up. Play the latest one, Kinley said. I put Dad's newest message on speaker. His voice was different now. Panicked. Desperate. Maya, we got your email. We need to talk. Please. I know you're angry, but we can work this out. We're family. You can't just... Please call me back. He's starting to understand. Wait. Here's Mom's. Mom's voice was barely a whisper. Maya, I don't understand. You've been... All this time you were... Oh God, what have we done? Please, sweetheart. Please call us. We can fix this. Then Sasha's, screaming, You psychotic bitch! You've been controlling our lives this whole time? Playing puppet master while pretending to be the victim? I hate you. My wedding is destroyed because of your sick revenge fantasy. And there's the real Sasha, I said. She's still not getting it. My laptop chimed with an email from Destiny. The subject line read, Urgent. Gil wedding cancellation. The wedding planner's bailing. I opened the message and read it aloud. Dear Gil family, due to non-payment and the current legal issues surrounding your accounts, I am forced to cancel all services for the Sasha Gil wedding. All vendors have been notified. I will be pursuing legal action for damages to my business reputation. Do not contact me again. Ouch. It gets better. Look at this. I pulled up Sasha's Instagram. Her latest post from this morning showed her at the bridal salon, beaming in her wedding dress with the caption, "Final fitting before the big day. Can't wait to marry my prince. Blessed bride, son, dream wedding." The comments section was brutal. Didn't your wedding just get canceled? Girl, the tea is spilling on Facebook about your family. Is it true your parents committed fraud? Your wedding planner is dragging you on her business page. Yikes, this is embarrassing. She's being roasted alive, Kinley said. Public humiliation was always her worst fear. My phone rang again. This time it was a number I didn't recognize. Answer it, Kinley said. Might be interesting. Hello? Is this Maya? This is Xander, Sasha's, well, I guess her ex-fiancé now. I put him on speaker and gestured to Kinley. Hi, Xander. I'm sorry to hear about the engagement. Are you? Because from what I'm hearing, you orchestrated this whole thing. I didn't orchestrate anything. I just stopped enabling fraud. Look, I need to understand what happened. Sasha's telling me you sabotaged her wedding out of jealousy, but the legal documents suggest something else entirely. What do the documents suggest? That your parents stole your property and committed bank fraud. Multiple felonies, actually. That's accurate. And you've been financially supporting them for years without them knowing? Also accurate. Xander was quiet for a moment. Jesus Christ. Sasha has no idea, does she? She really thinks you're the villain here. Sasha thinks whatever makes her feel better about herself. I can't marry into this family, Maya. This level of deception, the fraud, the way they treated you, I can't be part of it. That's probably wise. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. What they did to you was unforgivable. Thank you. After he hung up, Kinley whistled low. Even the groom figured it out. Xander's not stupid. His family has old money. They know how to spot grifters. So Sasha lost her wedding, her fiancé, and her family's about to lose their house. Don't forget her social media reputation. Maya, your phone's lighting up again. I looked at the screen. 17 missed calls, 23 unread voicemails, and 46 text messages. They're in full panic mode. Are you going to answer eventually? Maybe. When I'm ready to hear them beg. I turned my phone face down and smiled. Let them sit with what they've done for a while. They've had years to treat me like family instead of a bank account. Now they get to learn what life looks like without me. Maya? Yeah? Remind me to never cross you. I laughed, and for the first time in days, it felt genuine. Too late for them to learn that lesson. By morning, the situation had exploded beyond anything I'd anticipated. Kinley called me at 7 a.m., her voice tight with urgency. Maya, you need to see what's happening online. Sasha's having a complete meltdown on social media. I grabbed my laptop and pulled up Instagram. Sasha's account was a disaster zone. She'd posted a 20-slide story rant at 3 a.m., and it was still going. My psycho sister has destroyed my life, I read aloud. She's been secretly controlling our family's finances for years, like some kind of puppet master. She stole my wedding money and got my fiancé to break up with me. She's a manipulative, jealous bitch who can't stand seeing me happy. It gets worse, Kinley said. Keep reading. Maya has been pretending to be poor while secretly being rich and making us beg for money. She's sick and twisted, and I hope she rots in hell. She ruined my perfect wedding because she's a sad, lonely workaholic who will die alone. The comments are brutal. I scrolled down. Hundreds of responses, and most of them weren't supporting Sasha. Girl, your sister was paying your bills and you sold her house? That's messed up. Wait, so she was helping your family and you're mad at her for stopping? Make it make sense. This sounds like your family committed fraud and got caught. The audacity to call someone manipulative when you literally stole their property. She's getting destroyed in the comments. It's not just Instagram, Kinley said. Someone screenshot her rant and posted it on Reddit. It's gone viral. The post has 15,000 upvotes and 3,000 comments. What's the general consensus? That your family are entitled fraudsters who got what they deserved. My phone started ringing. Mom's contact photo appeared. Answer it, Kinley said. I want to hear this. I put it on speaker. Maya, thank God. We need to talk. Do we? Please, sweetheart, come home. We can work this out as a family. The same family that sold my home behind my back? We made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but we can fix it. How exactly do you plan to fix fraud, Mom? Don't call it that. We're family. We were just borrowing against your asset. By forging my signature. Maya, please. Your father's having chest pains from the stress. Sasha's been crying for 2 days straight. We need you. Where was this concern when you were spending my money? We didn't know it was your money. You never told us about the holding company or the payments. We thought we had a guardian angel. You did, and you betrayed her. Maya, I hung up and immediately got a text from Sasha. Answer your phone, you selfish bitch. Mom's having a panic attack, and Dad might be having a heart attack. This is your fault. Classy as always, Kinley observed. Wait, there's more. Another text from Sasha. Xander's family is telling everyone we're criminals. His mom called me a gold digger and said I'm lucky they don't press charges. I can't show my face anywhere because of what you did. She's still making herself the victim. Of course she is. Look at this email. I opened a message from someone named Amara at First National Bank. Ms. Maya, I hope you don't mind me reaching out directly. I'm the loan officer who's been handling your parents' account. I wanted to give you a heads up that they've been in here 3 times this week, trying to get emergency loans using your apartment as collateral. When we told them the property was tied up in legal proceedings, your father became aggressive. Security had to escort him out yesterday. Dad got kicked out of the bank. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but they also tried to take out a loan against their car and were denied due to their debt-to-income ratio. Without the anonymous payments they were receiving, they're completely insolvent. I thought you should know in case they try to contact you for financial assistance. They're desperate, completely broke, and now everyone knows it. My laptop chimed with a video call from an unknown number. I almost declined it, then recognized the background. It was Destiny, the wedding planner. I have to take this, I answered, and Destiny's face appeared on screen. She looked exhausted, her usually perfect makeup smudged. Maya, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I need to ask you something. Go ahead. Did your family really forge your signature to sell your apartment? Yes. And you've been secretly paying their bills for years? Yes. Destiny closed her eyes and took a deep breath. I'm ruined. Completely ruined. 17 vendors are suing me for breach of contract because I guaranteed payment for services I can't deliver. My business insurance won't cover fraud-related losses. I'm sorry that happened to you. Your sister keeps calling me, screaming that this is all your fault and demanding I fix it somehow. She wants me to eat the costs and provide services for free to make up for the confusion. That sounds like Sasha. Maya, I have to ask, is there any way you could help? Not for your family, but for me? I'm going to lose everything because I trusted them. I looked at Kinley, who shook her head slightly. Destiny, I understand you're in a difficult position, but my family committed fraud. I can't enable that by covering their debts. I know, I had to ask. Have you considered suing them for damages? With what money? They're broke, and my lawyer says you can't get blood from a stone. After she hung up, Kinley leaned back in her chair. That poor woman. She's collateral damage, but she chose to work with my family without doing proper due diligence. Maya, your phone's ringing again. This time it was a number I didn't recognize with a local area code. Hello? Is this Maya? This is Detective Rodriguez, with the fraud division. We've received a complaint about forged documents related to a property sale. We'd like to speak with you when you return to the country. I put him on speaker. What kind of complaint? Your parents filed a report claiming you're harassing them financially and that the apartment sale was legitimate. But the bank's investigation suggests otherwise. The sale was fraudulent. I have documentation proving it. We'd like to review that documentation. When will you be back in town? Next week. Perfect. We'll be in touch. After he hung up, Kinley whistled. They actually called the police on you? They're trying to flip the narrative. Make me the criminal. That's not going to work. The evidence is too clear. My phone buzzed with another text from Sasha. The police are involved now because of your psycho revenge plot. You've destroyed our entire family. I hope you're happy. I showed Kinley the message. She still doesn't get it. She never will. In her mind, she's always the victim. Maya, are you ready for what comes next? This is about to get very public and very ugly. I looked out at the Singapore skyline, thinking about the family I'd once loved, the sister I'd once protected, the parents I'd once respected. Let it get ugly. They made their choice when they decided to steal from me. And if they end up in jail, then they'll have plenty of time to think about what they did. My phone rang again. This time I didn't even look at who was calling. They can keep calling. I'm done being their safety net. Maya? Yeah? For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Thanks. But right or wrong, there's no going back now. The phone kept ringing. I turned it off completely. Some bridges are meant to burn. The ambush came at 2 a.m. Singapore time. My hotel phone rang, jolting me awake. The caller ID showed an international number I didn't recognize. Hello? Maya, thank God. Dad's voice was hoarse, desperate. We've been trying to reach you for days. I know. We need to talk. All of us. As a family. Put me on speaker. I heard shuffling, then Mom's voice, thick with tears. Maya, sweetheart, please come home. We can work this out. Can we? Because last I checked, you committed fraud. Don't say that word, Dad snapped. We're family. Families don't commit fraud against each other. Families don't steal each other's homes either. Sasha's voice cut through, shrill and furious. You ruined my life. My wedding is destroyed. Xander won't even look at me, and everyone thinks we're criminals. You are criminals. We needed the money, Maya. You have so much, and you never share it with us. I've been sharing it with you for 4 years. $2,800 a month for your mortgage, plus credit cards, car payments, and your college loans. That was you? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. Meridian Holdings. My company. I've been keeping you afloat while you treated me like an ATM. Why didn't you tell us? Dad asked. Because I knew you'd take it for granted. Just like you took everything else. Maya, please, Mom begged. We're going to lose the house. The bank is starting foreclosure proceedings. Good. How can you say that? Sasha screamed. This is our family home. The family home you were willing to sacrifice my apartment for. That's different. How is it different, Sasha? Because you don't even live there. You're always traveling for work. So that gave you the right to steal it? We weren't stealing. We were using family resources for a family celebration. By forging my signature. Maya, Dad's voice was pleading now. We made a mistake, a big mistake. But we can fix this. You can stop the foreclosure, help us pay back the vendors. No. What do you mean, no? I mean, no. I'm not fixing this. I'm not paying for Sasha's wedding. I'm not saving your house. I'm done. You can't be serious, Mom said. I've never been more serious in my life. Maya, please. Sasha's voice cracked. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry we sold your apartment. But you can buy another one. You can't replace my wedding day. Watch me not care. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. For the first time in years, I'm being completely honest with all of you. What's that supposed to mean? Dad asked. It means I'm tired of pretending we're a loving family when you only love what I can do for you. I'm tired of being the responsible one while you treat me like a bank. I'm tired of watching you spoil Sasha while taking everything I give you for granted. That's not true, Mom protested. Isn't it? When's the last time any of you called me just to see how I was doing? When's the last time you asked about my life, my work, my happiness? Silence. When's the last time you thanked me for anything? For the money? For the support? For always being there when you needed me? More silence. You can't answer because it never happened. I was never your daughter. I was your solution to every financial problem. Maya, that's not fair, Dad said. What's not fair is selling someone's home behind their back. What's not fair is forging legal documents. What's not fair is spending 4 years taking anonymous payments and never once wondering if you should be more grateful. We didn't know they were from you. But you knew someone was helping you. Someone was keeping you from losing everything, and you never once thought maybe you should live within your means instead of relying on charity. It wasn't charity, Mom said weakly. It was exactly charity, and you repaid it by stealing from me. Maya, please. Sasha was crying now. I'll do anything. I'll pay you back. With what money? You don't have a job. You've never had a job. You're 27 years old, and you've never supported yourself for a single day. That's not my fault. Whose fault is it? Mom and Dad always said I didn't need to work because I was going to marry well. And how did that work out for you? Maya, stop, Dad said. You're being unnecessarily cruel. Am I? Or am I finally telling the truth about this family? What truth? Mom asked. That you raised one daughter to be responsible and the other to be a parasite. That you've been bleeding me dry for years while convincing yourselves you deserved it. That when I needed you to respect the one thing that was truly mine, you sold it without a second thought. We needed the money for Sasha's wedding. Sasha needed a wedding she could afford, not a $400,000 fantasy funded by fraud. It wasn't fraud, Sasha screamed. Then why are the police investigating it? Because you called them. I didn't call anyone. The bank called them when they discovered forged documents. Maya, Dad's voice was broken now. What do you want from us? What will it take to fix this? Nothing. Nothing? There's nothing you can do to fix this, Dad. You can't unforget my signature. You can't unsell my apartment. You can't undo 4 years of taking me for granted. So that's it? Mom asked. You're just going to abandon your family? You abandoned me the moment you decided to steal from me. We're still your family. No, you're not. Family doesn't treat each other the way you've treated me. Maya, please. I hung up. The phone immediately started ringing again. I unplugged it from the wall. My cell phone buzzed with text after text. Maya, please call us back. We're sorry. Don't do this to us. You're destroying our family. Please, Maya, we need you. I turned off my phone and sat in the darkness of my hotel room. For the first time in years, the silence felt peaceful. No one was asking me for money. No one was expecting me to fix their problems. No one was taking me for granted. I was finally free. 3 days later, the dominoes were still falling. I turned my phone back on to find 127 missed calls and 89 voicemails. But it wasn't just my family blowing up my phone anymore. Kinley called first thing in the morning, her voice tight with barely contained excitement. Maya, you need to see the news. What news? Local Channel 7 picked up the story. Family fraud scandal rocks, upscale wedding industry. They interviewed Destiny and 3 other vendors who got stiffed. They put it on TV? It gets better. Sasha's Instagram meltdown got picked up by one of those drama channels on TikTok. The video has 2 million views. I pulled up TikTok on my laptop. Sure enough, there was Sasha's face in the thumbnail, mid-scream, with the caption, entitled, Bride's Family Commits Fraud for Dream Wedding. The comments are savage, Kinley continued. Everyone's calling her the poster child for spoiled brat syndrome. What about my parents? Your dad got arrested yesterday. I nearly dropped my phone. What? Disorderly conduct at the bank. Apparently he went in demanding they release the frozen funds and started screaming at the tellers when they explained about the fraud investigation. Jesus. He's out on bail, but Maya, this is escalating fast. The DA's office is considering formal charges. My laptop chimed with an email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line read, "Information you need to see." Kinley, I'm getting weird emails now. From who? I opened the message. Someone named Amara from the bank. She says she has information about my parents' financial situation that I need to see. The loan officer who contacted you before? Yeah. She's asking if we can video chat. Do it. Put me on mute, but keep me on the line. I called Amara's number. She answered immediately, looking nervous. Maya, thank you for calling. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I felt you deserved to know the full extent of what's been happening. What do you mean? Your parents have been trying to take out loans using your name and credit for months, even before the apartment sale. That's identity theft. We flagged it and denied the applications, but they kept trying. Different banks, different loan officers. They've been desperate for cash for a long time. How long? Based on what I can see, they've been living paycheck to paycheck since 2019. Without your anonymous payments, they would have lost the house years ago. They told me Dad got a promotion at work. Your father was laid off 18 months ago. He's been collecting unemployment and doing odd jobs, but it's nowhere near enough to maintain their lifestyle. My stomach dropped. They've been lying about everything. There's more. Your sister has been running up credit card debt in your mother's name. Designer clothes, spa treatments, wedding planning expenses. We're talking about $60,000 in unsecured debt. $60,000. And that's just what I can see from our bank. There are probably other creditors. Amara, why are you telling me this? Because they're trying to blame you for their financial problems. They filed a complaint with the police claiming you've been financially abusing them, withholding money that rightfully belongs to the family. That's insane. I know, but they're desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. I wanted you to have the full picture before you come back to town. After she hung up, I unmuted Kinley. Did you hear all that? Every word. Maya, they're trying to frame you as the bad guy. Of course they are. But here's the thing. All this information Amara just gave you, it proves they've been committing fraud for months, not just with your apartment. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Xander. Can we talk? There's something you need to know about Sasha. I showed Kinley the message. Answer it. I called Xander back. Maya, thank God. I've been trying to reach you. What's going on? Sasha's been calling my parents, trying to get them to pay for the wedding. She told them you're mentally unstable and that our families need to manage the situation together. She what? She's claiming you've had a psychotic break, and that's why you're destroying the family. She wants my parents to give her money and help her get you committed for psychiatric evaluation. You're kidding. I wish I was. My mother called me laughing because it was so ridiculous. But Maya, Sasha actually believes this narrative. She's convinced herself that you're the villain and she's the victim. What did your parents say? They told her to lose their number. My family's been dealing with grifters for generations. We know the signs. I'm sorry you got dragged into this. Don't be. I'm grateful I found out what kind of family I was marrying into before it was too late. Xander, can I ask you something? Sure. Did Sasha ever mention that I was supporting my parents financially? Never. She always talked about how selfish you were, how you made all this money but never shared it with the family. She said you were jealous of her relationship with your parents. She had no idea I was paying their bills. None. Maya, I think your sister is genuinely delusional. She's created this fantasy where she's the perfect daughter and you're the evil sister who ruins everything out of spite. After we hung up, Kinley whistled low. She's actually trying to get you committed. That's a new low, even for Sasha. Maya, your phone's lighting up again. I looked at the screen. Multiple missed calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Reporters, I realized. The story's getting bigger. Are you going to talk to them? Hell no. But I am going to do something else. What? I opened my laptop and started typing. I'm going to post the truth. All of it. Bank records, legal documents, everything. If they want to play this game in public, I'll give the public the whole story. Maya, are you sure? Once you put this out there, there's no taking it back. Good. I want everyone to know exactly what kind of people they are. I uploaded the documents to a secure file sharing site and started writing a detailed post explaining everything. The years of financial support, the forged signatures, the fraud, the lies. There, I said, hitting publish. Let's see them spin this. Within minutes, my post was being shared across multiple platforms. The evidence was undeniable, the timeline clear. My phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize. Maya, this is Detective Rodriguez. We need to talk. About what? Your parents just filed a restraining order against you, claiming harassment and financial abuse. But based on the evidence you just posted online, I think we need to have a very different conversation. What kind of conversation? The kind where we discuss pressing charges against them for fraud, identity theft, and filing false police reports. I smiled for the first time in days. Detective, I'd be happy to cooperate with that investigation. The hunter had become the hunted, and I was just getting started. The courtroom was packed when I finally flew back home. Detective Rodriguez had fast-tracked the case once my evidence went public, and the media attention made it impossible to ignore. I sat in the front row, watching my parents at the defendant's table. Dad looked like he'd aged 10 years in 2 weeks. Mom kept dabbing at her eyes with tissues. Sasha sat behind them, glaring at me with pure hatred. All rise for the Honorable Judge Martinez. The judge was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who'd clearly read every document in the case file. This is a preliminary hearing for charges of fraud, identity theft, and filing false police reports against Albert and Ava Gill. Ms. Maya, you're the complainant? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gill, you're representing yourself? Dad stood up shakily. Yes, Your Honor. We couldn't afford a lawyer. I see. And Ms. Sasha, you're here as a witness? I'm here to tell the truth about my sister's lies, Sasha said loudly. You'll speak when spoken to, Judge Martinez said sharply. Now, let's review the evidence. The prosecutor laid it out methodically. The forged signatures, the fraudulent sale, the years of financial support my parents had accepted while planning to steal from me, the attempted identity theft for additional loans. Your Honor, Dad said when given the chance to speak, we're a family. Maya's been supporting us for years. We thought the apartment was a family asset. Mr. Gill, did you forge your daughter's signature on legal documents? Well, yes, but did you sell property that belonged to her without her knowledge or consent? Technically, yes, but she wasn't using it. Mr. Gill, there is no technically when it comes to fraud. You either committed these crimes or you didn't. Mom stood up, tears streaming down her face. Your Honor, Maya's been playing games with our family for years. She's been secretly controlling our finances, manipulating us. Mrs. Gill, your daughter was voluntarily paying your bills. That's called generosity, not manipulation. But she never told us. She had no obligation to tell you. The money was hers to give or withhold as she saw fit. Sasha couldn't contain herself anymore. She ruined my wedding. She destroyed our family out of spite. Ms. Sasha, you're out of order. She's a vindictive bitch who, bailiff, removed Ms. Sasha from my courtroom. I watched as security escorted my screaming sister out. Even now, she couldn't accept responsibility for anything. Your Honor, the prosecutor continued, The defendants have also filed false police reports claiming the victim was financially abusing them, when in fact, she was supporting them. I've reviewed those reports, Judge Martinez said. They're clearly retaliatory and without merit. Dad tried one more time. Your Honor, we're willing to make restitution. We can pay Maya back. With what money, Mr. Gill? According to the financial records, you're completely insolvent. We'll figure something out. We're family. Mr. Gill, you forfeited the right to claim family loyalty when you committed fraud against your daughter. The judge's ruling was swift and decisive. Dad got 18 months in minimum security prison. Mom got 12 months and probation. Both were ordered to pay full restitution, though everyone knew they'd never be able to. As the courtroom cleared, Kinley squeezed my shoulder. How do you feel? Empty, I said honestly. Satisfied, but empty. That's normal. You did the right thing. Did I? I just sent my parents to prison. You held them accountable for their crimes. There's a difference. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed us. I gave a brief statement about the importance of financial boundaries and family accountability, then got in Kinley's car. Where to? She asked. The apartment. I want to see it. We drove to my old building in silence. The doorman, Carlos, recognized me immediately. Ms. Maya, we heard about the trouble. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Carlos. Is the apartment still empty? Yes, ma'am. The sale was voided, so it's still yours. I took the elevator up to the 15th floor and opened the door to my home. Everything was exactly as I'd left it 8 months ago. My books on the shelves, my photos on the walls, my life frozen in time. It feels different, I told Kinley. How so? Smaller, like it belongs to someone else. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, then saw it was from Xander. Maya, I wanted you to know. Sasha's been telling everyone you bribed the judge and fabricated evidence. She started a GoFundMe to fight your lies. It has $12 in donations. I showed Kinley the message. She's never going to change, is she? Probably not. But that's not your problem anymore. What about my parents? What about them? They're going to prison because of me. They're going to prison because they committed crimes. You didn't make them forge your signature, Maya. You didn't make them steal from you. I walked to the window and looked out at the city skyline. Somewhere out there, my family was dealing with the consequences of their actions. Sasha was probably posting more rants on social media. My parents were probably still trying to figure out how to blame me for their situation. Kinley? Yeah? I want to sell this place. Really? Yeah. Too many bad memories now. I want to start fresh somewhere else. Where will you go? I don't know yet. Maybe stay in Singapore? Maybe try somewhere new entirely. What about your family? I turned away from the window. What family? The people who raised me are strangers. They showed me exactly who they are when they thought I was powerless to stop them. Do you regret it? Any of it? I thought about the question seriously. The years of financial support, the secret payments, the elaborate revenge, the public humiliation, the criminal charges. No, I said finally. I regret that it came to this, but I don't regret standing up for myself. For the first time in my life, I chose me over them. And how does that feel? Terrifying, liberating, lonely. I paused. But right. My phone rang. It was Detective Rodriguez. Maya, I wanted to let you know. We've had 3 other families come forward with similar stories after seeing your case in the news. Parents stealing from adult children, forging signatures, financial abuse. Your case is opening doors for other victims. That's good, I guess. It is good. You stood up for yourself, and now others feel empowered to do the same. After he hung up, I looked around the apartment one more time. Ready to go? Kinley asked. Yeah, I'm ready. We locked up and headed for the elevator. As the doors closed, I caught my reflection in the polished metal. I looked different. Older, maybe. Definitely harder. But also free. Kinley? Yeah? Thank you, for everything. That's what friends are for. Real friends, you mean? The only kind worth having. As we walked out of the building, I deleted my parents' contact information from my phone. Then Sasha's. Then every relative who'd sent me angry messages about destroying the family. The phone felt lighter in my hand. Some bridges are meant to burn. And sometimes, the only way to save yourself is to walk away from the ashes and never look back. I was finally free to find out who I was when I wasn't busy being everyone else's solution. And for the first time in years, that felt like enough.
Cassie, when will you stop embarrassing this family? Mother's voice cuts through the morning calm like a knife. I stare defiantly over my coffee mug, heart pounding. I didn't realize existing was embarrassing. Don't be smart, Father snaps. Your sister manages to dress appropriately for family breakfast. Jocelyn shifts uncomfortably in her pressed blouse and slacks. I glance down at my paint-splattered overalls, of rebellion in denim. I came straight from a studio, I say. My art doesn't keep anchors hours. Mother's lips tighten. Art. Is that what you're calling those? Scribbles now. The words sting, but I refuse to let it show. My name is Cassandra Harlow, Cassie to the few who actually know me, and I'm suffocating in a family that can't see past their own expectations. They're good enough for the buyers at the gallery, I retort. Father scoffs. Buyers. As if anyone with taste would pay for that nonsense. Warren, Mother hisses, not at the table. But he's on a roll now. When are you going to grow up, Cassandra? Your sister's already making partner at her law firm. What do you have to show for yourself? I grip my mug tighter, knuckles white. I have my integrity. And my freedom. Freedom, he laughs bitterly. Is that what you call mooching off your parents at 28?
I pay rent, I grov.
For this overpriced closet you call a guest house. A pittance, Mother sniffs. Hardly covers the utilities. Jocelyn clears her throat. Maybe we could talk about something else? The weather's been lovely. Stay out of this. Father and I snap in unison. She shrinks back, and for a moment, I feel a pang of guilt. It's not her fault she's their golden child. I stand abruptly, chair scraping against the hardwood. I think I've lost my appetite. Sit down, Father commands. We're not finished. I say, heading for the door. Mother's voice follows me. This is why you'll never amount to anything, Cassandra. You can't even finish a simple family breakfast. I pause, hand on the doorknob. The urge to lash out, to hurt them as they've hurt me, is overwhelming. But I swallow it down. You're right, Mother. I can't finish this. Not anymore. I step out into the crisp morning air, letting the door slam behind me. The manicured lawn of the main house stretches before me, a perfect facade, hiding the rot beneath. I stride across it, grass staining my bare feet. My phone buzzes. A text from Jocelyn. I'm sorry. They shouldn't have said those things. I ignore it, shoving the phone back in my pocket. Her pity is almost worse than their scorn. The guest house, my prison for the past year, looms ahead. I'd moved back in after a bad breakup and an eviction notice, swallowing my pride for what I'd thought would be a few months at most. Now, it feels like quicksand slowly pulling me under. Inside, I survey the cramped space. Canvases line the walls, splashes of color defying the beige monotony my parents prefer. My latest piece sits on the easel, an abstract swirl of reds and blacks, emotion made visible. I grab my battered suitcase from the closet and start throwing clothes in haphazardly. Enough is enough. I can't keep suffocating here, trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for me. A knock at the door interrupts my frenzied packing. Cassie, it's Jocelyn. Can we talk? I hesitate, then open the door. She takes in the suitcase, eyes widening. You're leaving? I have to, I say. I can't do this anymore, Jose. She nods slowly. I understand. But where will you go? I laugh, a bit hysterically. No idea. But anywhere's better than here. Jocelyn bites her lip. Let me help. I can lend you some money just to get started. No. I cut her off. I appreciate it, but I need to do this on my own. She looks hurt, but nods again. Okay, just. Promise you'll stay in touch. I soften slightly. It's not her fault she's the daughter they wanted. I promise. As I finish packing, Jocelyn hovers uncertainly. What should I tell them? I zip the suitcase closed with finality. Tell them. Tell them I'm finally growing up. I shoulder my bag and grab my easel. Jocelyn follows me out, watching as I load everything into my beat-up Volkswagen. Be careful, she says as I slide into the driver's seat. I manage a small smile. Always am. As I pull out of the driveway, I catch a glimpse of my parents watching from the window. Their faces are a mixture of anger and disbelief. I lift my hand in a mock salute, then press down on the accelerator. The mansion shrinks in my rearview mirror, and with each mile, I feel the weight lifting from my chest. I have no idea where I'm going, but for the first time in years, I'm free. And that's worth more than all the approval in the world. The sun beats down on my neck as I adjust my easel, squinting at the canvas before me. It's been 3 weeks since I left home, and the local art fair is my first real attempt at making it on my own. My stomach churns with a mix of excitement and dread. Interesting use of color. A deep voice says behind me. I turn to see a man studying my latest piece, head tilted thoughtfully. Thanks, I reply, trying to gauge if he's being sincere or sarcastic. His rugged good looks are offset by grease-stained hands and well-worn jeans. Not exactly the typical art fair patron. He grins, disarming me completely. I mean it. The way you've captured light here, he points to a swirl of yellow and orange. It's like looking at a sunset through stained glass. I blink, surprised by his insight. That's exactly what I was going for. He extends a hand. I'm Rhett Lawson. Cassie Harlow, I say, shaking it. His grip is firm, calloused. So, Cassie Harlow, he says, tell me about this one. He gestures to a darker piece, all stormy blues and grays. I hesitate. It's deeply personal, painted during one of my lowest moments after leaving home. But something in Rhett's open expression makes me want to share. It's about feeling trapped, I explain. Like you're drowning in expectations that aren't your own. Rhett nods slowly. I get that. Family stuff. I laugh humorlessly. Is it that obvious? Let's just say I recognize the look, he says with a wry smile. So, what did you do to get out from under it? This, I say, gesturing to my paintings. I left. Decided it was time to sink or swim on my own terms. Brave, Rhett says, and there's genuine admiration in his voice. We talk for hours, the rest of the fair fading into background noise. Rhett, it turns out, is a mechanic with a passion for restoring vintage cars. He describes engines the way I talk about color theory, with an enthusiasm that's infectious. As the fair winds down, Rhett helps me pack up my unsold pieces. So, he says casually, I was thinking of taking a drive up the coast tomorrow. There's this great little seafood shack about 2 hours north. Want to come? I hesitate. It's impulsive, maybe even reckless. But isn't that what I wanted when I left home? To take chances, to live freely? You know what? Yeah, I say, surprising myself. I'd love to. Rhett's face lights up. Great. I'll pick you up at 10. The next morning, I'm waiting outside my cheap motel room when Rhett pulls up in a gleaming 1967 Mustang convertible. My jaw drops. You like? He asks, patting the hood affectionately. It's gorgeous. I breathe, running a hand along the smooth paint. Restore her myself, Rhett says proudly. Hop in. We cruise up the coast, wind whipping through my hair. Rhett keeps me laughing with stories of disastrous first dates and entitled customers. For the first time in years, I feel truly relaxed. The seafood shack lives up to Rhett's praise. We devour fresh crab cakes and clam chowder at a weathered picnic table overlooking the ocean. So, Rhett says, wiping his mouth, what's next for you? After the fair, I mean. I shrug, suddenly self-conscious. Honestly, I have no idea. I've got enough saved to last a couple months. But after that, I trail off, the reality of my situation sinking in. Rhett nods thoughtfully. You know, my mom runs this little gallery in town. Nothing fancy, but she's always looking for fresh talent. Want me to put in a word? I stare at him, torn between gratitude and pride. That's really kind of you, but I don't want charity. It's not charity, Red insists. Your work is good, Cassie. Really good. Mom's got a great eye. If she likes what she sees, it's because you deserve it. I bite my lip, considering. It's a lifeline, a chance to actually make this crazy dream work. Okay, I say finally. If she's interested, I'd love to meet her. Rhett grins. Great. I'll set it up. As we drive back, the sun setting in a blaze of color that puts my paintings to shame, I feel a spark of hope ignite in my chest. For the first time since I left home, the future doesn't seem quite so daunting. We pull up to my motel, and Rhett kills the engine. There's a moment of charged silence. I had a really great time today, I say softly. Me too, Rhett replies. He leans in and I meet him halfway. The kiss is gentle, tentative at first, then deepens. When we finally break apart, we're both a little breathless. So, Rhett says, a mischievous glint in his eye. What do you say we make this a regular thing? The road trips, I mean, he adds hastily. Although, the kissing part was pretty great too. I laugh, feeling lighter than I have in years. I'd like that, I say. Both parts. As I watch Rhett drive away, I realize I've taken my first real step towards independence. It's terrifying and exhilarating all at once. Whatever comes next, I know I'm ready to face it head on. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. Rhett and I sit on a checkered blanket, the remains of our picnic scattered around us. 6 months have passed since that first road trip, and every day has been an adventure. Cassie, Rhett says, his voice uncharacteristically serious. These past months have been the happiest of my life. I turn to him, smiling. Mine too. He takes a deep breath, reaching into his pocket. I know it might seem fast, but when you know, right? He pulls out a small velvet box, and my heart skips a beat. Cassandra Harlow, will you marry me? The ring inside is simple but beautiful, a delicate silver band with a small, sparkling diamond. It's nothing like the gaudy rocks my mother always fawned over, and I love it all the more for that. Yes, I breathe, tears pricking my eyes. Yes, of course I will. Rhett's face breaks into a radiant grin as he slips the ring onto my finger. We kiss as the last rays of sunlight fade, wrapped in the warmth of our shared joy. Reality crashes back the next morning as I stare at my phone, thumb hovering over my parents' number. I have to tell them, but the thought makes my stomach churn. You don't have to do this, Rhett says, wrapping his arms around me from behind. I lean into his embrace. I do. They're still my family, even if. I trail off, unable to finish the thought. I'll be right here, he promises. Taking a deep breath, I hit call. Mother answers on the third ring. Cassandra? Is everything all right? Everything's fine, Mother, I say, steeling myself. I have news. I'm engaged. There's a long pause. I see, she says finally, her voice tight. And who is the lucky man? His name is Rhett. He's a mechanic, specializes in vintage car restoration. Another pause, longer this time. A mechanic, she repeats flatly. Cassandra, surely you can't be serious. I am, I say, my resolve strengthening. We'd like you to meet him. Maybe we could come for dinner next week. I can practically hear her internal struggle. Finally, she sighs. I suppose that would be acceptable. Wednesday at 7. The week drags by, a mix of anticipation and dread. Rhett remains steadfast, his quiet confidence bolstering my own. When Wednesday arrives, we pull up to my parents' house in Rhett's prized Mustang. Ready? He asks, squeezing my hand. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Mother answers the door, her smile brittle. Cassandra. And you must be Rhett. Pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Harlow, Rhett says warmly, extending his hand. She shakes it briefly, her nose wrinkling slightly at the lingering traces of motor oil. Come in, please. Father and Jocelyn are waiting in the living room. Jocelyn hugs me tightly, whispering congratulations in my ear. Father merely nods, his expression unreadable. Dinner is a tense affair. Mother peppers Rhett with questions about his background and education, each answer clearly disappointing her. Father remains mostly silent, watching Rhett with narrowed eyes. So, Rhett, he finally says as dessert is served. What are your intentions with my daughter? Rhett meets his gaze steadily. To love her, support her dreams, and build a life together. Father scoffs.
Noble sentiment.
But how do you intend to provide for her? Surely you don't expect her to live on a mechanic's salary. Dad, I interject, anger flaring. I can provide for myself. My art. Your art. He cuts me off dismissively. Cassandra, it's time to be realistic. This dalliance has gone on long enough.
Dalliance.
I repeat, incredulous. We're getting married. No, Father says firmly. You're not. I forbid it. The room falls silent. Even Mother looks shocked. You forbid it? I say, my voice dangerously quiet. I'm not a child, Dad. You don't get to forbid anything. As long as you're part of this family, then maybe I don't want to be part of this family. I shout, standing abruptly.
Come on, Rhett.
We're leaving. Rhett rises, his face a mask of calm. Thank you for dinner, Mr. and Mrs.
Harlow.
I'm sorry we couldn't find common ground. As we head for the door, Jocelyn catches my arm. Cassie, wait. They'll come around. Just give them time. I shake my head, tears threatening to spill. I've given them my whole life, Jose. I can't do it anymore. Outside, I collapse against the car, sobs racking my body. Rhett holds me close, murmuring soothing words. I'm so sorry, I choke out. You didn't deserve that. He tilts my chin up, his eyes full of love. Hey, none of that. I knew what I was signing up for, remember? We're in this together. As we drive away, I feel a strange mix of grief and liberation. The bridge to my old life is burning, but ahead lies a future full of possibility, one I get to shape with my own hands. So, Rhett says, a hint of his usual humor returning. Wanna elope? I laugh through my tears, the weight on my chest easing slightly. You know what? That doesn't sound half bad. As the lights of my childhood home fade in the rearview mirror, I realize I've made my choice. Whatever comes next, Rhett and I will face it together, on our own terms. The key scrapes in a lock as Rhett and I stumble into our new loft, arms laden with boxes. Sunlight streams through the large windows, illuminating the dusty hardwood floors and exposed brick walls. Home sweet home, Rhett says, dropping a box with a grunt. I spin slowly, taking it all in. It's small, rough around the edges, and absolutely perfect. I can't believe we did it, I breathe. Rhett wraps his arms around me from behind. Believe it, babe. This is our fresh start. We spend the day unpacking, transforming the empty space into something uniquely ours. My easel claims a corner by the window, while Rhett's vintage car posters add character to the bare walls. By nightfall, we collapse onto our secondhand couch, exhausted but exhilarated. To new beginnings, Rhett says, clinking his beer bottle against mine. And to telling convention to shove it, I add with a grin. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of activity. Rhett throws himself into getting his restoration shop up and running, working long hours to transform an old garage into his dream workspace. I set up an online store for my art, nervously listing my first few pieces. You're sure about the prices? I ask Rhett for the 100th time, hovering over the publish button. He kisses my forehead. Your work is worth every penny, Cass. Trust yourself. Taking a deep breath, I click publish. It feels like sending a piece of my soul out into the world. Days pass with no sales, and doubt begins to creep in. Maybe my parents were right. Maybe this is all just a pipe dream. I throw myself into painting, channeling my frustration onto canvas. One morning, I wake to Rhett shaking me excitedly. Cassie, wake up. You've got to see this. I blink groggily at the laptop screen he's thrust in front of me. It takes a moment for the numbers to register. Wait, is that? You sold 3 paintings overnight. Brett, whoops. And look at the comments. They love your work. Tears spring to my eyes as I read the glowing reviews. It's not just the money, though that's certainly welcome. It's the validation, the proof that my art speaks to people. I told you, Rhett says softly, pulling me close. You're amazing, Cass. The sales continue steadily over the next few months. I expand my online presence, even landing a few commissions. Meanwhile, Rhett's shop gains a reputation for quality work, attracting a loyal clientele of classic car enthusiasts. One evening, as we're celebrating another successful week, my phone buzzes. It's a text from Jocelyn. Can we talk? It's important. My stomach twists. I haven't spoken to anyone in my family since that disastrous dinner. Part of me wants to ignore it, to protect the life Rhett and I have built. But curiosity wins out. Hey, Jose, I say when she picks up. What's going on? Her voice is strained. It's Dad. There's been a scandal at the university. He's been forced to resign. The news hits me like a punch to the gut. Despite everything, I never imagined my father's carefully constructed world crumbling. What happened? Jocelyn hesitates. It's complicated. Financial improprieties, abuse of power. It's all over the local news. I sink onto the couch, mind reeling. Rhett sits beside me, concern etched on his face. How are Mom and Dad handling it? I ask, though I can already guess the answer. Not well, Jocelyn sighs. Mom's a wreck, and Dad.
He's not the man we knew, Cass.
They're going to lose the house. Everything. A part of me, a petty, wounded part, wants to feel satisfied. Isn't this karma for how they treated me? But the larger part aches for my family, for the pain they must be going through. What do you need from me, Jose? I ask quietly. She takes a shaky breath. I hate to ask, but could you come see them? They won't admit it, but I think they need you. I close my eyes, conflicting emotions warring within me. Rhett squeezes my hand supportively, and I draw strength from his presence. I'll think about it. I say finally. I can't promise anything, but I'll think about it. After I hang up, I fill Rhett in on the situation. He listens without judgment, his steady presence a balm to my churning thoughts. Whatever you decide, he says when I finish, I'm with you. If you want to see them, we'll go together. If you want to stay away, I'll support that too. I lean into him, grateful beyond words for his unwavering support. I don't know what to do, I admit. Part of me wants to help, but another part is terrified of getting sucked back into their world. Rhett nods thoughtfully. You don't have to decide right now.
Sleep on it.
Whatever choice you make, it'll be the right one for you. As I lay in bed that night, unable to sleep, I realize that this is the true test of the independence I've fought so hard for. The choice to help or not is mine alone, not dictated by obligation or fear, but by my own values and desires. Whatever I decide, I know it will shape the next chapter of my life. And for the first time, I feel truly ready to write that chapter on my own terms. The sharp knock at the door jolts me from my painting trance. I glance at the clock, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Rhett's at the shop, and we're not expecting anyone. I open the door to find Jocelyn standing there, looking like she hasn't slept in days. Her usually immaculate suit is wrinkled, her hair disheveled.
Jess?
I say, stunned. What are you doing here? She pushes past me into the loft, her eyes darting around wildly. Nice place, she says, her voice brittle. Very bohemian. Thanks, I reply cautiously. Jocelyn, what's going on? You look terrible. She laughs, a harsh, humorless sound. Oh, you haven't heard? I thought surely it would have reached your artistic circles by now. My stomach tightens. Heard what? Jocelyn collapses onto our couch, suddenly looking very small. It's Dad, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. He's been fired from the university. There's a huge scandal. The news hits me like a physical blow. I sink down next to her, mind reeling. What happened? Financial improprieties, Jocelyn says, her voice hollow. Embezzlement, kickbacks from contractors. It's all over the news. They're saying he could face criminal charges. I struggle to reconcile this information with the image of my father, stern, principled, always lecturing us about integrity. I don't understand. Why would he do that? Jocelyn shakes her head. I don't know. Greed? Desperation? He's not talking to anyone, not even Mom. How is she taking it? How do you think? Jocelyn snaps. Her whole world is crumbling. The country club set she was so desperate to impress? They've all turned their backs on her. We're going to lose the house, Cassie. Everything. The weight of it all settles on me. Despite everything, a part of me aches for them. I'm so sorry, Jose. Is there anything I can do? She looks at me, eyes suddenly sharp. Actually, yes. That's why I'm here. I tense, sensing what's coming. They need help, Cass, Jocelyn pleads. Financial help. I've done what I can, but with the legal fees and everything else, it's not enough. I stand abruptly, pacing the small space. Jose, I don't know if I can do that. Can't or won't, she challenges. Both. I explode. Do you have any idea what it's been like, building this life from scratch? Every penny I make goes back into my art or our living expenses. And even if I could afford it, after everything they've put me through, Jocelyn's eyes flash. So that's it? You're just going to abandon them when they need you most. Abandon them? I repeat incredulously. Like they abandoned me when I chose to follow my passion? When I fell in love with someone they deemed unworthy? That's different, Jocelyn argues weakly. Is it? I counter. They made their choices, Jose. Just like I made mine. We glare at each other, years of unspoken resentment bubbling to the surface. Finally, Jocelyn deflates. I'm sorry, she says softly. I shouldn't have come here demanding things. I don't know what to do, Cass. I feel like I'm drowning. My anger fades, replaced by a complicated mix of empathy and wariness. I sit back down, taking her hand. I get it. Really, I do. But I can't just write a check and make this all go away. Jocelyn nods, looking defeated. I understand. I should go. As she stands to leave, a thought strikes me. Wait, I say. I can't give you money, but maybe I could talk to them? Try to help them figure out their next steps. Hope flickers in Jocelyn's eyes. You do that. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Yeah, I think I need to, for my own closure if nothing else. Jocelyn hugs me tightly.
Thank you, Cass.
You have no idea what this means. After she leaves, I sink back onto the couch, emotions swirling. When Rhett comes home, I fill him in on everything. Wow, he says when I finish. That's a lot to process. How are you feeling about it all? I laugh humorlessly. Honestly, I have no idea. Part of me wants to help them, to be the bigger person. But another part is scared of getting sucked back in, Rhett finishes. I nod, grateful for his understanding. He pulls me close. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. But Cass, don't let guilt drive your choices. You've worked too hard for this life to throw it away out of obligation. I lean into him, drawing strength from his steady presence. I know. I think I need to see them, to understand what happened, and maybe find some closure. But I'm not going to sacrifice everything we've built. I can't. Rhett kisses my forehead. That sounds like a good plan. Want me to come with you? I consider it, then shake my head. No, I think this is something I need to do on my own. But thank you for offering. As I lay in bed that night, unable to sleep, I realized that this visit could change everything. Will seeing my parents in their fallen state bring resolution or open old wounds? Can I find a way to help without compromising my own hard-won independence? Whatever happens, I know this confrontation has been a long time coming. And for better or worse, it will shape the next chapter of all our lives. The elevator creaks ominously as it ascends to the 5th floor of a rundown apartment building. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for what's to come. The doors open, revealing a dimly lit hallway with peeling wallpaper. This is a far cry from the pristine mansion I grew up in. I find the right door and knock, my heart pounding. There's a long pause before I hear shuffling footsteps. The door opens a crack, and I see my mother's face, pale and drawn. "Cassandra," she says, surprise evident in her voice. "What are you doing here?" "Hello, Mother," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. "Jocelyn told me what happened. I thought I should come see you." She hesitates, then opens the door wider.
Come isso was.
The apartment is small and cluttered, nothing like the meticulously decorated home I remember. Dad sits in a threadbare armchair, staring blankly at a muted TV. He doesn't look up as I enter. "Warren," Mother says sharply. "Cassandra's here." He grunts, finally turning to face me. The man before me is a shadow of the imposing figure from my childhood. His eyes are sunken, his clothes rumpled. "Come to gloat, have you?" he says bitterly. I flinch at his tone.
No, Dad.
"I came to see if you're okay." He laughs humorlessly. "Okay? We've lost everything. My career, our home, our reputation, all gone. And now you show up, playing the concerned daughter?" "I am concerned," I insist. "You're still my parents, despite everything." Mother bustles around, clearing papers off a small couch. "Sit down, Cassandra. Would you like some tea?" I nod, grateful for the momentary distraction. As she disappears into the kitchenette, I take a seat, acutely aware of Dad's glare. "So," I say, desperate to break the tension, "have you thought about what you're going to do next?" Dad scoffs. "Do? What can we do? I'm radioactive in academia now. Your mother's little society friends won't even return her calls. We're finished." His defeatist attitude grates on me. "You're not finished. You're just starting over." "Easy for you to say," he snaps. "You chose this life of struggle. We had everything, and now you know what it's like to live without a safety net," I finish. "Like I've been doing since I left." Mother returns with the tea, her hands shaking slightly as she sets down the tray. "Let's not argue," she pleads. "Cassandra, tell us about your life. Are you managing all right?" I see the real question in her eyes. "Are you here to help us?" The realization sends a chill through me. Is that all I am to them now? A potential lifeline? "I'm doing well," I say carefully. "My art is selling, and Rhett's business is taking off." "Ah yes, the mechanic," Dad mutters. I ignore the jab. "We're building a life together. It's not always easy, but it's ours." Mother nods, a forced smile on her face. "That's lovely, dear. And have you given any thought to, well, family obligations? Now that we're in this difficult situation." And there it is, the request I've been dreading. I set down my teacup, my resolve hardening. "I can't give you money," I say firmly. "Even if I could afford it, which I can't, it wouldn't solve the underlying problems." Dad's face darkens. "So, you'll abandon us in our time of need? After everything we've done for you?" "Everything you've done for me?" I repeat incredulously. "You mean criticizing every choice I've made? Trying to force me into a life I never wanted?" "We wanted what was best for you." Mother interjects. "No," I say, my voice rising. "You wanted what was best for your image. You never once asked what I wanted." Dad stands abruptly, looming over me. "We gave you every advantage, and this is how you repay us? By turning your back when we need you most." I stand too, refusing to be intimidated. "I'm not turning my back. I'm here, aren't I? But I won't enable you to avoid taking responsibility for your actions." "Responsibility," he roars. "You ungrateful." "Enough," Mother cries, tears in her eyes. "Please, both of you, stop this." We fall silent, the air thick with tension. I take a deep breath, trying to center myself. "Look," I say more calmly, "I can't give you money, but I want to help. I can help you look for jobs or find resources for people in your situation. But you have to be willing to start over, to rebuild." Dad slumps back into his chair, suddenly looking very old. "What's the point?" he mutters. I kneel beside him, taking his hand. It's the first time we've touched in years. The point is that you're still here. You still have each other and Jocelyn
And me.
if you want. Mother joins us, her hand on Dad's shoulder. Perhaps Cassandra is right, Warren. We can't go back, but we can go forward. He looks at me, really looks at me for what feels like the first time. You've grown up, he says softly. When did that happen? I smile sadly. While you weren't looking. As I leave the apartment an hour later, I feel drained but oddly hopeful. It's not a fairy tale reconciliation, but it's a start. A chance to build a new relationship, one based on mutual respect rather than expectations. I step out into the fading sunlight, taking a deep breath of the city air. Whatever comes next, I know I can face it. I've found my strength, my voice. And no one can take that away from me. The tension in the small apartment is palpable as I stand facing my parents. What started as a tentative attempt at reconciliation has devolved into a bitter confrontation. Mother's face is flushed with anger, while Dad glowers from his armchair. How can you be so heartless, Cassandra? Mother demands, her voice shrill. After everything we've done for you, you'd abandon us in our time of need? I take a deep breath, fighting to keep my composure. I'm not abandoning you. I've offered to help you find resources, to support you emotionally. But I can't just write a check and make this all go away. Support us emotionally?
Dad scoffs.
What good is that when we're about to be evicted? Maybe if you'd supported me emotionally all these years, things would be different now. I retort, years of pent-up frustration bubbling to the surface. Mother gasps. How dare you? We gave you everything. Everything except acceptance, I say, my voice rising. Everything except the freedom to be myself. Oh, here we go again with the artist nonsense, Dad mutters. Something inside me snaps. It's not nonsense. It's who I am, who I've always been. But you were too busy trying to mold me into your perfect daughter to see that. We wanted what was best for you. Mother cries. No. I counter, years of hurt pouring out. You wanted what was best for your image. Do you have any idea what it was like growing up in this house? The constant criticism, the impossible standards? They stare at me, stunned by my outburst. Every time I showed you a painting, you asked why I couldn't be more like Jocelyn. I continue, unable to stop now that the floodgates have opened. Every accomplishment was met with, that's nice, but when are you going to do something real with your life?
Do you know what that does to a child?
Dad starts to speak, but I cut him off. And now that your carefully constructed world has crumbled, you expect me to swoop in and save you? To sacrifice the life I've built, the happiness I've found, to prop up your pride? We're parents, Mother says weakly. Yes, you are. I acknowledge, my voice softening slightly. And I love you, but I won't set myself on fire to keep you warm. The silence that follows is deafening. Mother sinks onto the couch, tears streaming down her face. Dad stares at the floor, his jaw clenched. I never realized, he says finally, his voice barely above a whisper. We thought we were pushing you to be your best self. Your version of my best self. I correct gently. Not mine. Mother looks up at me, really looks at me, perhaps for the first time in years. You've grown so strong, she says, a mix of pride and regret in her voice. When did that happen? It happened when I stopped trying to be who you wanted me to be and started being true to myself. I reply. Dad clears his throat. And this life you've built, with the mechanic, you're truly happy? I nod, a small smile playing at my lips. Happier than I've ever been. Rhett sees me, the real me. He supports my dreams without trying to change them. I suppose we owe him an apology, Mother says quietly. You owe a lot of people apologies, I say, but without malice. Including yourselves. They exchange a look, years of shared history passing between them. We've made a mess of things, haven't we? Dad says ruefully. I sit down between them, taking each of their hands in mine. Yes, you have. But it's not too late to start fixing it.
How?
Mother asks, her voice small and uncertain. By taking responsibility for your actions, I say firmly, by rebuilding your lives on a foundation of honesty and humility instead of pride and appearances. Dad nods slowly. It won't be easy. No, I agree. It won't. But I'll be here to support you if you'll let me. Not financially, but as your daughter. As someone who loves you, flaws and all. Mother squeezes my hand. We don't deserve your forgiveness. Maybe not, I say. But I'm offering it anyway. Because that's who I am, the person I've become despite everything. For the first time in years, I see a glimmer of genuine pride in their eyes, not for what I've accomplished, but for who I am. We have a lot to learn from you, Cassandra, Dad says softly. I stand, feeling lighter than I have in years. It's not too late to start. As I leave the apartment, I feel a sense of closure I never thought possible. The road ahead won't be easy, for any of us. But for the first time, I feel like we might be able to walk it together as equals. I step out into the fading sunlight, taking a deep breath of the city air. Whatever comes next, I know I can face it. I've found my strength, my voice. And in doing so, I may have finally helped my parents find theirs. The future is uncertain, but it's ours to shape. And for the first time in my life, I'm truly excited to see what it holds. The crisp autumn air carries the scent of possibility as I stand before the newly expanded Lawson's Vintage Restorations. Rhett's dream has grown, and with it, a space for my own aspirations to flourish. The storefront gleams, half filled with lovingly restored classic cars, the other half transformed into a cozy art gallery showcasing my work. Ready for this? Rhett asks, squeezing my hand. I take a deep breath, nodding. As I'll ever be. The grand opening is a whirlwind of faces, friends, fellow artists, car enthusiasts, and curious locals. I float between conversations, my heart swelling with pride at the admiring glances cast at both the vehicles and my paintings. This is incredible, Cassie, a familiar voice says behind me. I turn to see Jocelyn, looking slightly out of place in her tailored suit but smiling genuinely.
Just.
I exclaim, pulling her into a hug. I'm so glad you could make it. She steps back, taking in the gallery. I wouldn't have missed it. Your work. It's beautiful. I never really understood before, but now I see what you've been trying to tell us all along. Her words bring unexpected tears to my eyes. Thank you. I manage. That means more than you know. Jocelyn's expression turns serious. Listen, I wanted to apologize.
For everything.
For not standing up for you more, for buying into Mom and Dad's expectations. I shake my head, cutting her off. You don't need to apologize. We were both just trying to survive in that house, in our own ways. She nods, looking relieved. How are they doing? Mom and Dad, I mean. I know you've been in touch more than I have lately. I consider my words carefully. They're
Trying.
It's not easy, but they're making an effort to rebuild their lives, to see things differently. Dad's even talking about volunteering at a community college, teaching a night class. Wow, Jocelyn says, clearly surprised. That's not what I expected. Me neither, I admit. But I think losing everything forced them to reevaluate what really matters. Our conversation is interrupted by Rhett's mother, Evelyn, bustling over with a tray of champagne flutes. Girls, you must have a toast. This is a celebration after all. We accept the glasses, and Evelyn pulls me into a warm hug. I'm so proud of you both, she says, her eyes shining. You've built something truly special here. As she moves on to mingle with other guests, Jocelyn raises an eyebrow. She seems lovely. She is, I say, a wave of gratitude washing over me. She's been more of a mother to me these past few years than. I trail off, not wanting to reopen old wounds. Jocelyn nods in understanding. I'm glad you found that support, Cass. You deserve it. The evening progresses, a steady stream of well-wishers and potential clients flowing through the doors. As things begin to wind down, Rhett joins me by my favorite painting, a swirling abstract that somehow captures both the freedom of the open road and the comfort of coming home. Quite a night, huh? He says, wrapping an arm around my waist. I lean into him, exhausted but elated. It's more than I ever dreamed possible. He kisses the top of my head. You made it happen, Cass. Your talent, your determination, that's what brought us here. We made it happen, I correct him. I couldn't have done any of this without you believing in me. As the last guests trickle out, Jocelyn approaches us again. I should get going, she says. But before I do, Mom and Dad asked me to give you this. She hands me an envelope. With trembling fingers, I open it to find a card. Inside, in my father's precise handwriting, is a simple message. Cassandra, we are so proud of the woman you've become and the life you've built. We were wrong to try to change you, and we're sorry it took us so long to see that. If you're willing, we'd like to start over, to get to know the real you, and to be the parents you always deserved. With love and admiration, Mom and Dad. Tears blur my vision as I pass the card to Rhett. He reads it silently, then pulls me close. What do you think? He asks gently. I take a shaky breath. I think it's a start. A real one this time. Jocelyn smiles, looking relieved.
They really mean it, Cass.
They've changed, or at least they're trying to. I nod, a complex mix of emotions swirling within me. Tell them I'd like that. To start over. As Jocelyn leaves, Rhett and I stand in the quiet gallery, surrounded by the fruits of our labor and love. So, he says, a mischievous glint in his eye. What's next for us, Cassandra Harlow soon-to-be Lawson? I laugh, feeling lighter than I have in years. I don't know exactly, but for the first time in my life, I'm excited to find out. We step outside, locking up our new shared space. The street is quiet, the city winding down for the night. But for us, it feels like a new dawn. As we walk hand in hand towards our loft, I realize that this moment, this life we've built, is the masterpiece I've been working towards all along. It's not perfect, it's not what anyone else planned for me, but it's beautifully, authentically mine. And that I now know is worth more than all the approval in the world.